Round one. Fight! The whole thing!
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Tier Ranker Fights. This is episode number 56. Tonight we're talking best 80s action movies, and this is part of our action series. We're going through every decade of action. We'll eventually get to a championship episode of Tier Ranker Fight that will be the top 10 from every decade. So we're working our way through it. I'm your host this evening. I'm Jordan, movie hero Anderson. You can see my little one-liner, see if you can guess which movie that's from. I had to abbreviate it to kind of fit it in there, but yeah, and as far as action movie goes, I mean, there's so many different interpretations of an action movie. I mean, it could be things blowing up, it could be hand-to-hand combat, it can be gunfights, it can be action sci-fi, action adventure, action fantasy. I mean, there's a long list, so we're going to have that debate here. A few of these might not be so much action. We'll see. That all depends on our panel, and if you have any thoughts, you can put it in the live chat, so we'll be watching for that too. So we'll go ahead and we'll introduce our panel for tonight. So I'll introduce my co-host, Austin Pez. Howell, how's it going?
Jordan, I'd like to start off with an actually. Well, in your thumbnail, you have a picture of Mr. Jean-Claude Van Damme with an eyepiece from the film Universal Soldier, which is 1992, and therefore not an 80s action movie. So I'd like to point out that that does not count and is not eligible, sir.
Well, that's just the thumbnail I pulled off the internet. So,
well, the internet's wrong, and I'm right.
Yeah.
What's up,
hey, we also have joining us Soda, aka Matt Majo. How's it going?
Hey, I'm Soda Tab for this evening to play up with the 80s theme. So
nice.
Yes. That note, 80s action movies. I was told by my grade 10 science teacher that I was born a decade too late because I was obsessed with it. So
nice.
That kind of list.
Sounds good. Yeah, and then we also have joining us Stephen Shepard. How's it going?
Hey, yippee-ki-yay.
Yeah. Yippee-ki-yay, mother father, as they like to say on TV when they put that on TV.
Or if you watch Die Hard 2, which I know isn't 80s, but Mr. Falcon.
Oh, yeah, right. Mr. Falcon, yeah.
And what made that so funny, too, isn't even the Mr. Falcon part. It's the fact that if you listen to it, his voice completely changes.
Oh, wow. Nice. That's pretty good. Yeah. But we also have joining us Richie Goodacre. How's it going, Richie?
What's up? Glad to be here talking about 80s action movies. I feel like I've been here before. I did this on Ranking
a few nights ago.
I've got a bit of an idea what's going to be on here, and also Jordan, nice Theo Von shirt.
Oh yeah, he's one of my favorites. Maybe my favorite working comedian, just personally.
Okay,
so, yeah.
We'll talk about on the comedians episode
that'll be coming up in about a month. So yeah, but then we also have joining us Mr. Papa West. How's it going?
So I'm sitting here, like, I'm not going to do a reference from it because I never do a reference. But also, like, 80s theme, I wasn't alive in the 80s, so who cares? But I'm also sitting here, like, why does Jordan have a shirt of Tom Brady?
Yeah, right. Theo Vaughn. He's just like a good old Southern boy. He's a comic, so yeah, with a mullet, but which kind of fits for the '80s. Mullets are kind of like an '80s style. Yeah. Yeah, but
just looked at Jack Burton and Big Trouble in Little China for one of the great mullets of all time.
Yeah, right. He probably went into the barber shop and just brought a picture of Jack Burton. He's like, I want this. Here you go. Yeah. But yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll jump into it. So, Austin, as a co-host, you want to tell us how it's going to work tonight while I bring up the tier chart?
Yeah, everybody on here, I think, has been on Tier Ranker before, but I'll just give anyone watching a quick refresher how we come up. We got a whole bunch of movies, a whole bunch of 80s action movies that'll be up for available for nomination on our Tier Ranker chart. And we've got multiple levels of the tier. So we've got the S tier, which is going to be our best of the best. Literally, we're looking for top 10 in those in that S tier tonight to go in our poll. So we'll be pulling whether they're all 10 S tier movies, whether we have to pull a few from the A. We'll kind of see what happens. And then everything else goes by letter grade, like in school, A, B, C, D, F. And we've got tiers for not an action movie. If you want to make a argument for something not being an action movie, you can make that argument. We need at least 3 people on the panel who have seen it for qualified votes. So hopefully everybody on here has seen plenty of 80s action movies. We won't have too many of those. But yeah, we'll go around for roughly about 2 hours or so, and it'll go up and down the ladder. Everybody can nominate things. When we get to around that point, we'll have a Hail Mary last chance kind of throw it at the wall round where you can nominate anything else that's still on the list that you want to try to get up in the S tier. And that's how we'll kind of do it. So when we get started, Papa West will be first down at the bottom. He can nominate anything on the list. We've got a whole bunch of movies, as we said, available for ranking. Don't have to talk about S tier if you want. You can shoot for S tier right off the bat. You can talk about something that's a B tier or an F tier, one that you hate, whatever you like on your turn. But that's kind of how it works. So yeah, and the top 10 of S tier, and we'll pull 3 honorable mentions from the A tier for our poll for the episode. So that's kind of how it works. And as you can see, all those lovely posters down there, a lot of great 80s posters that we love.
Yeah,
lots of good stuff. Oh yeah, but
absolutely. And also, we have some people in the chat throwing in some early predictions. Let's see, my computer doesn't want to freeze on me, but yeah. So we got. Just was there? Yeah, there we go. We got Matt movies with like Lethal Weapon, Predator, Kickboxer, Tango and Cash in there. Then we got another vote for a police story on there. So, and we got The Killer on there. So yeah, a few early nominations. So yeah, so it'll be fun. We'll see what pops up. Even a little shout out to Akira, which is on the list, our lone animated movie on the list. So yeah, but we'll start at the bottom of the ladder. So Papa West, you'll be up first. So and if you need a refresher, I put the full list in our group chat, so you can take a look there. But if you have one you want to nominate, you can go for it.
All right, so Jordan, normally I yell at you. I tell you to stop scrolling. Jesus Christ, Jordan.
Okay.
I'm trying to talk, and you were keeping me from
sure.
being focused. So normally I tell you, scroll, monkey, scroll. And then when I see the movie that I'm wishing to nominate, I tell you to stop. Most of the time you do it. Sometimes you don't. And then it's a whole awkward fiasco of getting you to find the right movie. But don't worry, because the movie that is going to be nominated first is on the very first row. And that is going to be the Sigourney Weaver classic, Aliens with an S at the end.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I got a lot of crap on my top 64 for picking Alien over Aliens. I knew it was just a personal choice, but I will say Alien is a fantastic movie, almost as good as Alien, but not quite as good. But definitely
we'll talk about that.
Definitely needs a lot more action speed. Gotta see a lot more xenomorphs. Gotta kill a lot more xenomorphs, and then Bill Pullman dies, which is great.
Spoilers.
Oh God,
and it's Bill Paxton.
Asshole.
I have done this so many. One of these days, I will get them right.
R.I.P. Bill Paxton. He didn't mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in real life, too.
One of those.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
Aliens with an S. So we're just gonna take the name backwards and put it on S tier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No.
Sounds good. Yeah, and then
Richie?
and also, Richie, you'll be up next. I was just gonna throw up the little comment. They're saying some deja vu from Matt. You were just on the 80s with Malcolm.
Yeah, you go.
Yeah. but what do you think for Aliens?
Yeah, it was going to be my first choice considering it was the first thing I saw. So up on there. What's that feedback? That's weird. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Someone got some feedback.
Yeah. I really love Aliens. It is better than Alien. I will say that. I think it's better than Alien. And yeah, it's fantastic. Get away from OU, bitch. S tier for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So someone has like a fan or something close, or like try muting your mic and see who it is. But anyways,
See who it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's Soda.
Wow.
Matt, it's you.
We fixed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. But we'll
Sorry
move
about that.
to
Steven. Yeah.
Steven.
Oh.
Yeah. This was actually on TV last night, so I watched a little bit of it, but not much.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I'm definitely in the camp that
There we
likes
Much
Aliens more than Alien. It's just, first of all, I always prefer James Cameron over Ridley Scott, even though Ridley Scott has made some great movies. I'm not trying to argue otherwise. But I definitely prefer Aliens. It's great from start to finish. Sigourney Weaver is great. Michael Biehn, the whole cast. Even though I do think Bill Paxton is a little much sometimes, but I still like him. So yeah, it's definitely S tier for me as well.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just a dick for Bill Paxton. R.I.P. man.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
Bill
show some
Paxton
respect
in
on his
general.
name. Yeah.
Well, Paxton.
Yeah. Well, Matt, what do you think?
Oh yeah,
for
no, of
Aliens?
course, it's an easy S tier. I mean, this is one of those interesting films where you got a first one, which is a straight up horror movie. Then the second one flips its genre on its head and becomes one of the greatest action movies of all time. Also, one of the most quotable action movies of all time. Game over, man, game over.
Yeah.
This is easy S tier, and I'm in the camp that I prefer Aliens over Alien.
All right.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. Well, still an S tier. So, Austin.
I was on the stream, but
Yeah, I mean, Richie.
Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't mute myself.
Nothing to peanut
We're trying
butter.
to have a discussion of tier ranker action movies right now. Well, while Papa West and I have a disagreement on whether Alien or Aliens is better, I can certainly agree with his pick of Aliens being the cream of the crop here, because obviously anybody who knows me knows it's my favorite movie of all time. I could talk about this movie for 8 hours straight and have zero problems. It's amazing. It's a breakneck action movie that has a double climax, which is always amazing, that you kind of forget about when they take off from the planet, and then we still have this great climax with these practical aliens and her power loader, basically a mech suit. It's amazing. Just great stuff, great tech, great sci-fi, great action. It's an easy cream of the crop S tier, of course.
Yeah, like this one is an easy S. I'll go ahead and make it unanimous because Aliens is freaking awesome. I am kind of kind of flip flop on which Aliens I like better. I do think that I like Aliens with an S probably better, but the first one's just really good. First one for me is more of like a horror movie, and this one's more action and yeah, it's a lot of fun. But I love the like Bill Paxton stuff, like Game Over, man, we're dead meat, we're sitting ducks, like all that stuff. They do a great spoof of that on Saturday Night Live back in the 90s, and they have Dana Carvey doing the Bill Paxton part, like just going crazy. And then like at the end they have E.T. for some reason burst in there and they shoot him to death. It's pretty wild. But but the movie Aliens, yeah, like it's just great action from start to finish. It like, because what you want in a good sequel, you want it to to like take what the first one did and then build upon the stories and kind of amp it up and do it a little bigger and a little better, and that's exactly what it does, and they do it perfectly. So yeah, S tier, easy. So
All right,
do
well, it's
like-
unanimous.
There
Yeah.
are a few of Bill Paxton's lines that do make me laugh. Like when he says, "Well, why don't you put her in charge?" About when they're follow the little girl.
Yeah. Well, the point
Yeah.
of the character is that he's acting all tough and badass, like he can handle anything, and he's the one guy who has a panic attack and freaks out, and who can't handle the pressure. When push comes to shove, and when people actually start dying, he just has a mental breakdown and has to get it back together. But I think he redeems himself. He does go out fighting like a hero, and he does stand up for himself. So it's he does have a little mini arc throughout the movie.
Yeah, and also I forgot to shout out Paul Reiser as like playing like a great
The best
evil
corporate weasel ever. He's the best weasel
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah, I'm so
Yeah,
used
like
to
a
him
corporate
from
weasel,
Mad
yeah.
About You that
Exactly.
it was funny watching him play a snake.
I know, yeah, kind of interesting, especially for the time, yeah. But all right,
All right, Richie.
so-
Which of the movies brought up last night would you like to bring up tonight?
Yeah.
Cool. I can talk now. Cool. Sorry.
Yeah.
This is my turn.
You're good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go basic. I'm gonna be a basic bitch here, and then I'll stop. I mean, you got to bring up eventually. Die Hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Like, yeah.
Where's it
Like,
at?
it's one of the
Am I-
best action
okay.
movies of all time.
Right next to Empire. There you go.
yeah.
Best action movie of all time. Great protagonist. Just everything about it's great. Alan Rickman's great. R.I.P. We talk about this ad nauseum, so it's like, I can't really have much to add about Die Hard. But yeah, it is what it is. It's Die Hard. It's like the quintessential action movie that other action movies try to be. So S tier for sure.
Yeah. Well, Steven, what do you think for Die Hard?
I mean, it was number one on Rankim's list, so I'm sure it'll end up being number one or close to number one, at least on this list.
Yeah.
My favorite line isn't even the famous Yippee line. I love the moment when he's hiding under the table and he's shot at, and then the bad guy says, next time you have the chance to kill someone, don't hesitate. And then bang, 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 and McClane says, thanks for the advice.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's easy S tier for me too, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Matt,
same
what
here.
do you think?
Same here. I mean, there's really nothing much I can add to it. To whatever what these guys are saying, it's S tier for sure.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. So, Austin?
Yeah, how do you disagree with Die Hard being an S tier? It's a very obvious one, and it's a prototype of a movie that would have many copycats to follow, both in the late 80s and early 90s. The typical saying of, Under Siege is Die Hard on a boat, and Passenger 57 is Die Hard on a plane, and, Speed is Die Hard on a bus. There's a reason why we call those things, and while some of those are great movies, there's a reason why we set the prototype of the one guy in the situation that has to kind of save the day amongst everybody else and step up and do the thing. So, and John McClane's a great example. He has some training. He knows what he's doing as a cop, but he's trying to let other people do it, which is what the unique thing is about the movie. He doesn't want to be the Arnold Schwarzenegger, sort of commando type guy. He's just trying to, do the right thing. So, yeah, one of the great action protagonists of all time, and yeah, one of the great action movies of all time. Yeah, it's an easy S tier.
Not just 90s and 2000s. Yeah, Olympus Has Fallen is one of the better ones.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, like any given whatever. Yeah, even Van Damme and was it Sudden Death? Die Hard in a hockey arena. It's all the same thing. Any of those situations. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, come out to the coast. We'll get together. We'll have a few laughs, and come on. So yeah, Die Hard's awesome, and for me, like, he's definitely the greatest action hero of all time. I would say. I mean, there's a debate to be had on like what's the best action movie, which we are going to eventually get there. But Die Hard is in the conversation. So like I'm pretty excited to finally get there and see what we have in the finals. But for right now in the 80s, yeah, it's one of the best. So That's got to be S tier. Papa West, what do you think for Die Hard?
I'm really confused by you saying that John McClane is the best action hero of all time because he's easily not. Easily not. Die Hard's still a fantastic movie. I mean, the little scene when him and Alan Rickman come face to face, and Alan Rickman's pretending to be just a normal employee, so they have that little interaction together. He's on the plane at the very beginning, and the person's like, "Hey, just a piece of advice: take off your shoes." And he ends up doing that pretty much as soon as he gets to Nakatomi Plaza, which is a huge plot thing. It is a great movie, so it does definitely belong in S tier.
Yeah. Sounds good. Well, we got two easy unanimous picks right there. So, so it'll stay in S tier. So, we'll throw to Steven. You're up next. So, you got one you want to talk about?
Yeah, on Rankum, I wasn't on Rankum on Saturday, but I was on the live chat, and I brought up a movie that was given kind of a similar brush off as another movie that might be brought up here because it's more fantasy sci-fi than action. But the thing about action is it's like I said before the show, it's a broad genre, and I think as long as it has lots of action, it should count. And I definitely think Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan counts as action.
Yeah.
And I think
Let's see. What's this one?
It's not only my favorite Star Trek movie, it's one of my favorite movies, period. Ricardo Montalban is great as Khan. It's probably the best acting Shatner has ever done. Of course, and the ending is really sad. And yeah, I think it's definitely an S tier movie.
Yeah, for sure. Matt, what do you think for The Wrath of Khan?
Yeah, it's definitely one of the better dramatic action films, so I agree with us.
Yeah. Sounds good. Austin, what do you think?
I'm way more of a Next Generation guy than I am original movies. And while I enjoy a lot of the original series stuff, it's still fun. As far as pure action and the movies I think of when I talk about 80s action, the Star Trek films from that era don't really make that for me, although I will give it an A tier because it's obviously probably the best version of that in the 80s. But I'm still, for an 80s action tier, I'm going to go A instead of S.
Yeah, this was tough for me too because I'm much more of a Next Generation fan also. But I do I recognize that it's probably one of the best, if not the best, of the original series movies. But I mean, it's not my personal favorite. I like The Voyage Home, but that's just for more personal reasons. The first movie that I ever remember watching with my grandparents, and I just kind of like how they kind of go back to San Francisco and all that stuff. But yeah, I think that I would give it an S. It'll probably end up being a lower S, but I'll stick with an S for the Wrath of Khan. Sure. Papa West, what do you think?
So I have learned several things while being on Tier Ranker, and one of those is if you believe a movie is not in that genre, if you say that, you're throwing away your vote. So I can't really vote for not an action movie.
It depends.
Even though it really is not an action movie. It's a good sci-fi drama. It is one of the only watchable movies in the original 6 Star Trek films. The Voyage Home is easily the best. This one is pretty good. And then I hate how it has this amazing ending that is thrown away with the very next movie.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's not an action movie because again, that's just throwing away my vote. Because I mean, it's a good movie. It's a good 80s movie. So let's just say B.
Yeah. That's fair enough. I'll just shut up, Matt. He says Wrath of Khan, my number 7 on my list of favorite movies. So it's up there for him. But Richie, you're back just in time. What do you think of Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan?
Yeah, a lot of the original Star Trek movies are on my blind spot. To be honest, I watched some Next Generation stuff, and obviously the newer, stuff with Chris Pine, and but a lot of the a lot of the originals on my blind spot. So I have to abstain. I haven't actually, and I'll get around to watching Wrath of Khan, just haven't done it yet.
Sure. Well, we have 3 S's, and then what did you say, Papa West? I forget. Did you say?
I said a B.
A B. So 3 S's, an A, and B. So
I mean,
it might be on the border for right now, but if anything else
Yeah.
gets more S tier votes, it might take 4 to really solidify it tonight. But it'll be in there for now. But if not, it's going to get the bump. So we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll leave it there for now. But Matt, you're up. So what? You got one you want to?
Yeah, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna go for a cult classic. I'm gonna go Roadhouse for
Ooh,
A
okay.
tier. Roadhouse for A tier. Only reason I am not putting it in S
Anyone
tier is
sees
just
it.
because of how cheesy the entire movie is.
Roadhouse, that's right around
But
here.
it's got a great
Here it is.
soundtrack. The band in there, Jeff Healey and the Jeff Healey band, one of my favorite bands of all time. You've got Patrick Swayze ripping out a guy's throat. You've got the townspeople turning on the bad guy and shooting him in the end and then denying it all. No, it's one of those classic of its time 80s movies that is just so much fun to rewatch. So I'm putting it in A tier.
Yeah, sounds good. Austin, what do you think?
I'm going to go B tier, but I'll give you my reason. Because it's like a perfect B movie. That's what Roadhouse is. Roadhouse is an amazing B movie and should be like the top of the B movies because that's what it is. It's a so horrendous, it's awesome, B movie because, the dialogue is corny as hell, pain don't hurt, all that stuff, which makes no goddamn sense. It's like he's running this bar that somehow is still in business despite the fact that there's damn near riots every night, which it should not be. It should be shut down for safety purposes. But it's corny as hell. It's got Terry Funk, which I'm a big wrestling fan, so Terry Funk is one of the nutty patrons, because he's a nut job in real life. It's fun, but yeah, I'm putting it in a B tier just because it's an awesome B movie. So I'm gonna go B tier.
Touche.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's all. Yeah.
Yeah, and I haven't seen Roadhouse, so I was trying to find time to squeeze in some of these movies. I was also out of town this weekend, so that made it a little difficult. But
Not an excuse. Not an excuse.
yeah, right. But I was able to watch a few. I just didn't get quite get around to Roadhouse. I haven't seen it yet, so like my only thing is that I really know about Roadhouse is on the Family Guy when they do the Roadhouse episode. Peter goes around drop kicking everybody, and keeps saying Roadhouse like over and over. So,
Roadhouse.
yeah, but so I'll have to abstain. But
Papa West.
Papa West, yeah.
Roadhouse. Jordan, I was going to make a comment. Thank you for doing it for me. I mean, one thing that's been brought up is the fact of how cheesy it is. And I think that really adds to the charm of it. It is a fun action movie. And then with that cheesiness, it just makes it a lot more enjoyable. And it's definitely a lot more action than Wrath of Khan.
That's true.
So screw it. I'm going to say S tier.
Yeah. Richie, what do you think?
Richie.
Yeah, I can't go to S tier, but it was one of my honorable mentions on Rankin yesterday. I always brought it up, and it was going to be my next pick. People fucking still pick, so I'm gonna think it. But yeah, this movie is fun. But yeah, I like it. It's fun. It's dumb, and it knows what it is. But yeah, I can't put it S tier. It's not that level. I actually think B. I think Austin's logic is great. So I'd actually say B as well.
Yeah,
Don't worry. The great thing about 80s action, Richie, is there's just plenty of picks on here to choose from. So, stealing the next pick is really not that big a deal.
Stacked.
There's plenty of movies to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Steven?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this is one of my blind spots, so I haven't seen it.
Okay. That's fair
All right,
enough.
we
but-
still have 4 votes, so we got an S tier from Papa, and we got an A and 2 Bs. So it's probably going to be an A tier where it is, but it'll probably be
A.
lower A tier if it kind of hashes it out. But yeah, that's fine.
Just a bit of bit behind the scenes. Papa West just messaged me saying, "What's your next pick gonna be?" I'm fucking telling you.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
One thing about the Roadhouse
I
TV,
mean, feeling.
Kevin Smith and Scott Mosier do a commentary track.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay.
That'd be cool to see. Yeah, yeah.
It's pretty good. Listen,
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, I haven't. Without seeing it, though, the Double Deuce looks like a wild place to visit. So,
oh yeah.
a lot of fights going on. But Austin, you're up next. So, you got one you want to talk about?
Well, why the hell not double up on a director we've already talked about? Because I'm going the Terminator, James Cameron's other
All right.
80s action movie. Because
Yeah,
the Terminator fucking rules. It's right there in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Terminator is my favorite of the series. I know most people go T2. I slightly edge it out with T1 just because I know I'm a total hypocrite because I love Aliens over Alien because it leans more into the action. I love Terminator over T2 because it leans more into the horror. So I'm a weirdo like that. But because it plays like an almost an action slasher movie, which is what I love, is that you could substitute in this movie the Terminator for like a Jason Voorhees, and it would be a very similar movie where he doesn't stop, he doesn't eat, he doesn't sleep, he has one mission to kill Sarah. But what Cameron was able to do with the budget that he had, which was pretty modest at the time, just a couple of $1 million, and make this really cool concept that, despite what you say about all the later sequels and how convoluted it gets, the original concept of, this guy coming back to help this woman, stop this unstoppable machine is a lot of fun. I think Michael Biehn gives an incredible performance in this movie. Like, I love his monologues about can't be bargained with, it can't be reasoned with, absolutely will not stop. Like, all that stuff is great. And what they do, the shootout in the police station, the different chase sequences they're able to accomplish, what they're able to do with so little is absolutely stunning in this movie. So I think Terminator should easily have a spot in the S tier.
Yeah, I think I would agree with most of that. I do like T2 a little better, but but the Terminator's still awesome. That's not taking anything away from.
Well, obviously T2 will probably be an easy S tier when we get to 90s action. When we get there eventually. We talk about that one. Yeah.
Yeah, but introduced us to the Terminator, one of the best action kind of like hero, anti-hero, whatever you want to call it, and also one of the best female action heroes with Sarah Connor too. Like you gotta give a shout out that'll rival Sigourney Weaver there, but and then also another movie that has Bill Paxton in it for just a brief minute. He's like some kind of like gang, like punk, like leader kind of guy or whatever. So, So
wash day, nothing clean, right? Nothing clean,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, but I do like having the like differences. How like the Terminator just brings more of the horror stuff to it, and I really like that. So like I really like it for what it is, quite a bit. So yeah, I'd probably put it like somewhere near the top as far as what we have so far. So yeah, I'll say S tier. So, but Papa West.
Well, if Predator 2 came out a year earlier, we'd be able to have the trifecta.
Yeah. Hell yeah. We'll talk about that when we get to 90s because I love Predator 2.
I cannot wait for that. But we can't talk about it yet. No, Terminator definitely deserves to be on an S tier. It is fantastic and kind of jump-started the career of Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I'm pretty sure, like, behind the scenes, this movie was supposed to be a flop. And he was not expecting it to be as good as it was. And then it turned out to be a masterpiece and start an amazing franchise of 2 movies.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
Richie?
Richie, what do you think?
Yeah. Again, I'll reference Rankin. I brought this up on Rankin. I think it's a fantastic movie. The first movie that got me into Arnie. I'm probably sure it's the same for a lot of people. Definitely S tier. I don't like to call people out, but I'm going to. But when I nominated this, Malcolm said no. So I don't know.
So Crocodile Dundee in his head, Crocodile Dundee's a better action film than The Terminator. Noted.
Yeah.
In our hot takes.
Yeah.
All right, Steven.
Yeah, Steve.
Well, in Malcolm's defense, he's well known for not being a fan of the Terminator franchise.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to be a fan of the franchise to be a fan of the first two movies. I just want to point that out.
Yeah.
But it's an S tier. It's probably for me like more mid S tier, but it's still definitely an S tier.
Yeah. Yep, sounds good. Well, Matt, what do you think?
I'm in the camp where I personally preferred this over Terminator 2, even though I do recognize Terminator 2 is only rated all time. And I do agree this is S tier, and I also do agree that this would be bottom S tier because this, while it has some great action moments, is more of a horror movie. So that's why, while S is going to be at the bottom of the S for me.
Yeah. Well, it sounds good. So I'm pretty sure it's going to stay in this. So yeah. All right. Well,
all right, Jordan.
We'll have one that
put it above Wrath of Khan.
Yeah, it's definitely above Wrath of Khan right now.
Yeah. I want to leave Wrath of Khan down there because it barely squeaked in there. So yeah, but so I want to go with a movie that I'm not sure if anyone will agree that it's full on action, but like I do think that it is. But it has a lot of other elements also. So I want to go with the movie They Live because that movie freaking rocks. And I want to talk about it.
I know.
Yeah. Sorry, Richie, but also shout out Roddy Piper, like he's great in this. Also Keith David too, and this is a movie that I was a little late to the party on. I just saw it for the first time at the end of last year, and like it really blew me away with the creativity too. You got some parts that are in black and white. Then when he puts on the glasses, like all the crazy things you can see, and it's terrifying. Like it's like a lot of people might consider it more of a horror movie. But I think that they kick a lot of ass. They get into a lot of fights. I mean, he's there to kick ass and chew bubble gum. So, and he's all out of bubble gum. So it's like that's one of the best iconic action catchphrases right there. So I gotta say S tier for They Live because it's also one of those movies that the more times that I watch it, I just like it better and better. Like it really holds up for me. So, but Papa Wes, what do you think?
Fun fact: They Live is my favorite movie of all time, apparently.
According to Tournament Fights,
yes, that's right. Yeah. Sure.
And the really cool thing was its first matchup was against Wizard of Oz, and I pointed out, I'm like, it's crazy how both movies have the black and white and color side by side in the movie, which again is something that like you don't see a lot of, which is really cool. The fight scene in the alleyway is fantastic. A lot of this movie, I would classify it more as just a sci-fi film. But the fact there are some action scenes, I do think it does qualify for it. And because it's my favorite movie, we're going to keep it in.
Yeah, that sounds good. Richie? What do you think?
Yeah, I would have. I think there's enough action in it to constitute an action movie. But I definitely see the argument for it being like more of a like sci-fi. But yeah, like I said, I was going to bring this up. I think like Roddy Piper and Keith David are amazing in it. It's a shame though, like Roddy Piper, like he left wrestling to do that, to go to go to Hollywood, and he started off with a banging. Like okay, he's just gonna he's just gonna do movies for the rest. He's just gonna be a Hollywood star, like like The Rock or Batista or something. But then he followed this up with Hell Comes to Frogtown. So it kind of didn't work out that great.
Not so much.
But yeah, this movie is fantastic. I would say yes.
Yeah. Steven, what do you think?
It really sucks because I specifically got Peacock just so that I could see this movie because it's on Peacock. But unfortunately, I didn't get around to seeing it. So.
Well, if it makes the championship, maybe before then you can see, right? But Matt, what do you think?
This is one of those ones that I am going to say I'm going to say it's a B, and this is why I'm saying it. Not because it's not a great movie. I do think it is one of Carpenter's better films. but because this is action films, really there's only one true action scene, and that is that really long ass fight.
Yeah.
The rest of that is more about conspiracy theories and the sci-fi elements, something like that. So because of that, I'm going to rank it into the one great fight doesn't make it a great action film.
Yeah. That's fair enough. Austin?
I'm kind of on Matt's wavelength, although I'll go a tad higher. I'll say A tier, just because I think it is maybe the best hand-to-hand combat scene that's not a martial arts film. I think you could probably make that argument, and he does have a few shootouts here and there. Yeah, again, there's enough action. The reason I go A tier is because when I think about the greatest 80s action movies of all time, the ones that just pop into my head when I'm doing that, They Live is not one of those. Is like that just like immediately comes to mind. And again, it's if we were talking about John Carpenter films, like this would easily be S tier. You know, if we were talking about again like greatest fight scenes of all time, this would be S tier. But just because of 80s action, again, the topic of the show, I'm going to go A tier. So yeah.
Yeah. That's fair.
So it's got 3, 1A and 1B,
S's.
kind of like Wrath of Khan. So they're kind of, yeah, both those movies are kind of still on the border of things kind of knock them off. So we'll see.
But it's
Yeah.
better than Wrath of Khan, so it goes ahead.
I can live with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see. Yeah. But so we were back around to Papa West. So got another one you want to bring up?
Okay. So I haven't actually seen it yet. Oh, I just saw it. Okay, you can go and stop, Jordan. We're going to go with one that apparently Malcolm tried to fight for on Rankum. I didn't watch Rankum, so I have no idea how it went. We're going to go with the second best Star Wars movie of all time, Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, I know it's.
You just passed it.
Yep.
Go down
Right
one.
next to Escape from New York, under
Go down
Conan.
one.
Right under
Oh,
Conan.
yeah.
Right there.
There you go.
Right
Yeah.
there.
First.
Yeah.
You said second best Star Wars?
My first is Return of the Jedi.
Oh,
Yes,
gotcha.
same.
My first is New Hope, personally.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the reason that Empire Strikes Back belongs in S tier, we kind of talked about it very, very briefly before we started this. But the Battle on Hoth is an amazing fight scene. One of the best, just all around kind of war scenes that happens in all of Star Wars. But also has, I would say, probably the second best lightsaber fight. And that is at the very end of the movie when Luke Skywalker is taking on Darth Vader. It is very probably one of the best 80s movies. I definitely think it belongs in S tier.
Yeah, sounds good. Richie, what do you think?
I mean, I'm tempted to go not. I mean, like when I was on Rankum, we went not an. The general consensus was not an action movie. I'm always tempted to go that way, but I'm not gonna. You know what? I'm not gonna be. You know what? I'm just gonna give the benefit of the doubt, and I will vote for it like it's an action movie. However, because it's not as action packed as some of these other ones, like as a whole, as a movie, like as a sci-fi movie, like I think it'd be at the top there. But as an action movie, I'd have to I'll give it an A. Because I don't think it's like. As action packed as some of these other ones. So yeah, I don't think it could rank high on the highest on an action movie scale.
Yeah. Well, Steven, what do you think for Empire?
It's kind of on the border for me between an A and an S. So I'm gonna give it a high. I'd give it a high A.
Yeah. Sounds good. Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm with Steven on this. Even though there are 3 great action sequences in this, I am with Steven. I'm going to go with a high A.
Yeah, sounds good.
Just because it's similar to what Pez said last round. It's like when you think 80s action films, this is not one that comes to mind.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, no,
Austin, what do you think?
I'm literally the same way, Matt. Like, I will go A tier because it's an amazing film. And again, like I said, I think the Hoth battle sequence is one of my favorite action sequences in the entire franchise. And I think there's enough between all the Millennium Falcon chases in the middle of the movie, the lightsaber fight at the end, the gunfights and the chases kind of around Cloud City. You know, at the end, there's enough action in it to absolutely constitute it that it is an action movie. I will make that argument all day and all night. But when I stack it up against, I see like probably at least 10 more movies on this list that I would rank as an 80s action movie, higher and more adrenaline filled than Empire Strikes Back. So I will also go A.
Yeah. For an actual action movie, like it's kind of a borderline for me between S and A, but I think I'm gonna go the opposite of Steven. I'm gonna give it a low A. So like I probably rank it lower than some of these other ones on the list, but like it is the action scene that they have, especially that Hoth battle scene, is probably one of the best in like all of Star Wars. So yeah, I will say a low S. So
Low S or low A? You said A first.
a low S. Yeah.
Low S. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have 2 S's and 4 A's. So it'll be top of A for right now. It's going to slide down into A.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
when we did 2010s action movies, I brought up Sicario, and to be honest, I would say that Star Trek 2 and Empire Strikes Back are probably more action than Sicario.
True. That is true. If you're thinking straight up action, I would agree with that. Yeah. Well, we'll go back to Richie now. You're up, so you got one you want to talk about. Kind of keep scrolling.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
And you're muted. Yeah, I was going to say.
I was muted. I just because I think we need at least one on here, and it's one of the better ones. So I'm going to go for a Bond movie, and I'm going to go License to Kill.
Yeah.
I think this is the better Timothy Dalton movie. I think it's
here.
I think it's fantastic. I'll go for A, to be honest.
Anyone see it?
Do not put on
It's on the right. They're right next to Lethal Weapon. Under Temple of Doom. On the right column.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
I think we definitely need to at least mention a Bond film. So I put it A, but I can understand. If some people put it higher, then sure.
Yeah. Sounds good. Steven, what do you think for License to Kill?
So I love the Bond franchise, but I'll be honest, none of the Bond movies from the 80s I think rank higher than a B. And truth be told, I actually found License to Kill a little dull, but I would still give it a B.
A little Dalton.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I'm gonna meet him.
Zing. Matt, what do you think for License to Kill?
So Timothy Dalton is my favorite Bond. I really enjoy what they were going for with these darker Bond films. I think it's where it is. A.
Yeah. Austin, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with the A tier. I think it's great. Like that truck sequence in License to Kill, I remember just catching it randomly on cable the first time I saw it and just being like, what movie is this? Like, this is awesome. And then I didn't realize it was a Bond movie at the time because it was like before I went and did my Bond sort of rewatches, my little retrospective where I watched them all. It's been a minute since I've seen License to Kill all the way through, but I remember liking kind of the grittiness of it. I like Dalton a lot as Bond. I think he's a badass, like cool Bond. But yeah, I think License to Kill deserves to be at least recognized for being one of the better, like as far as a Bond action film. It's got some of the better action sequences. So yeah, I'll agree with the A tier. I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you did good, Richie. You picked the only Timothy Dalton Bond movie that I've seen, so I can actually talk about it. And yeah,
Same here, but
I think
there's
this
only
movie's great. Okay,
Yeah.
there's only 2. That's good. Okay, well, I wasn't sure how many they actually had because I'm a huge Bond fan, but I've only seen most of the modern ones, so I've been going back to rewatch all the Bond movies, but I've had so many other movies I got to watch for these shows that I've only gotten through From Russia with Love, which is like the second James Bond movie. But I mean, I'll get around to them. So, but yeah, License to Kill was a lot of fun, and I actually really enjoyed Timothy Dalton as James Bond. I think he does a really good job. It's not my favorite James Bond, but he's like top 3 at least. So yeah, I will say A. I think it's perfectly good where it's at. So yeah,
Yeah. So Richie, I really wish you would have told me what you were going to nominate next, so I could be like, the movie that I want to nominate is License to Kill. I have no idea where to properly rank this because I have never seen it, but I'm going to steal Richie's pick. But you did not do it, so I could not make that funny joke. Fun fact, guys, I have not seen License to Kill. I have not seen most of the Bond films, so try not to bring it up.
Well, fun fact, if you want a fun cast fact, License to Kill features 2 alumni from Mortal Kombat 1995, Talisa Soto and Kerry Tagawa. Shang Tsung and Katana are both in the movie. Yeah.
Isn't Benicio del Toro in it too?
Yeah, Del Toro's in it from Sicario, yeah. It's got a fun little side cast. Yeah, it's got Frank McRae, who plays the angry black captain from Last Action Hero. He's a lot of fun. Yeah. He's in 48 Hours. Yeah, he's in there. Yeah, it's a really fun side cast. It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Also, shout out Matt Movies in the chat. You wanted to bring up the opening plane sequence. That's a pretty cool scene too. That one. So yeah.
Well, we got 4 straight A tiers, so it's still kind of above Roadhouse in the A tier, so because it's a pretty solid A.
Yeah.
We can slide it above that.
Slide it up one. Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah. All right, and we will go to Mr. Shepard for your next pick, sir.
You want to go for it?
Let's continue copying Rankum, and I'll go with Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Ooh, yeah, sounds good. Let's see. Where's it at? I know it's here it is.
It's side Rambo, but yeah, there you go.
Yeah, this was in the top 3 alongside Aliens and Die Hard, and I don't even honestly know how I would rank those 3 because they're so close to me. All 3 are in my top 20 of all time. So, but yeah, I mean, what's there to say that hasn't already been said about this movie a million times? I mean, Harrison Ford is perfect as Indiana Jones. I know there's some people that like Last Crusade a little more, and if that were to make the top 10, I certainly have no issues with that because I love that movie too. But I think Raiders is my favorite, and the chemistry between Harrison Ford and Karen Allen is just great, and the ending when they open the box and everybody starts melting, that's such a cool scene.
Fun stuff, yeah. See Nazis melt, their faces melt.
Yeah, so it's easy S tier for me.
Yeah. Sounds good. Well, Matt, what do you think for Raiders?
Yeah, it's an easy S. I am in the camp of I prefer Last Crusade, but that's just favoritism. I willingly acknowledge that Raiders of the Lost Ark is the better of the 3. I mean, think of how many memorable sequences there are in here, like action sequences. There is a reason why this is considered one of the greatest action movies of all time. It is high S, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Austin, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm also with Matt that Last Crusade is my personal favorite. But if I were to put one of these on the tier ranker action, I think it's some of Spielberg's best action direction in this movie. The whole thing from when he gets out of the the tomb or whatever, and the fights on the plane, the action sequences around the plane, to the truck chase sequence where he's getting dragged with it, like all that stuff is absolutely some of the most dynamite 80s action you'll ever have. Shout out to Vic Armstrong. I always do when I have like the stunt man who did all the stuff in this movie. Like, oh my God, like the stuff that he does on that truck is incredible. I love practical stunts and practical action. And yeah, this has some of the best of all time. It's just one of the best sort of action adventure, feels like old time entertainment, but it's a lot of fun. So yeah, if we were to nominate a Indiana Jones movie for this one, I think Raiders is probably the easy pick for that. So yeah, I'll go S tier.
Yeah. You picked my favorite Indiana Jones movie. I love Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yeah, just like from the opening scene, just like them like going into the cave where they eventually get chased by the iconic boulder, and he says that where they're arguing back and forth, like, give me the whip, throw me the idol, give me the whip, and like just back and forth, and then when they're getting chased by all the tribes people there, and they're shooting like the darts at them and arrows and everything, and then the whole thing around the plane, like it's just one cool kind of like adrenaline rush up to the next, and then like all the scenes on the truck, like you guys mentioned, and then like even a pretty memorable villain with like Dr. Like Belloc or whatever. Like he's one of the.
They call him Beloche.
Yeah. The Beloche, yeah. But yeah, so it's an easy S tier for me. Yeah. So, but Papa, what do you think?
Jordan, I hate going after you because you always steal my lines. I was going to you talk me that, I'll have to ask you the whip.
Yep.
But no, we talked about Die Hard being influential, and all these movies are Die Hard just wherever. How many times have you seen a character run from a boulder? Hey, fun fact. Raiders of the Lost Ark is my personal favorite Indiana Jones movie. The action in it is great. I love when he's fighting the Nazi and you have the plane kind of not circling around, but try to take off. And then it ends up like this Nazi's kicking the crap out of him, and then the propeller catches his head and kills him. It's great. And then that scene at the end where they open up the box. Like that thing tormented me as a child. I still have some emotional scars because of that. With that being said, it is still fantastic and definitely belongs in the S tier.
Yeah. Well, Richie, what do you think?
Richie?
I mean, the other time I've seen a character run away from a boulder is when I'm playing Crash.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually
Indiana Jones. Yeah.
Sort of have to abstain. Haven't seen all of it, so it's one of my blind spots.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, what?
I know.
Seriously?
I know. Yes, I know.
Disappointed.
Everyone's gonna have their blind spots and stuff, and that was mine.
Yeah.
You're kidding, right?
Just turn
I'm
on TBS or like TNT on any like Saturday afternoon, and you'll see it. It'll be on. Yeah. But
you don't just like own the box set and watch them. Like, it's Indiana Jones, Richie. You're a film fan, right?
It's Indiana Jones.
Well, I don't know if it's available in Australia, but it is available. All the Indiana Jones are on Paramount Plus.
We have Paramount Plus here,
spend the $5 and rent it. It's worth the renting fee.
Oh yeah, it's worth it.
Or just buy a box set of DVDs for like, it can't be more than $10. Oh my God, it can't be that much.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right, that's fine. But no, it's still a clean sweep, so it'll be still up there with Terminator, Die Hard, and all that stuff. Yeah. Well, we'll figure it out. We'll figure out the actual rankings later. And we'll go back to Matt.
Okay, so I'm going to do the first, not an action movie, get Rocky 3 out of there.
Okay. Sure.
So the Rocky movies are, the fights are inconsequential to the plot. Basically, they are just
find where it is.
It is... Keep going down.
It's probably down further. Yeah, there we go. Rocky 3. Yeah.
Basically the Rocky movies, the boxing are just metaphors for what is actually going on throughout Rocky's life. So they are more dramas with boxing as a backdrop than anything else. Hell, you could make it any sport. A movie would still be, it would still be a drama. So for me, not an action movie.
Well, we could just bring up the other Rocky movies too while we're
same thing. Yes.
all out of the way, So
I
if
think there's only 2 Rocky movies that are.
There's only
on the
two in the
Yeah.
80s.
3 and 4.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which what's the
Whoop,
other
whoop,
one
you
here?
almost were
here it
there.
is.
There you go.
There you go.
Mhm.
Rocky 3 and 4.
And
Yeah.
Rocky
anyone
is
has-
my favorite franchise of all time, but
Yeah.
it's not action.
Yeah, if anyone has any kind of case, we don't even need to go around the horn, but if anyone has a case to make it an action movie, you can say it now, but else we'll just leave it there. So,
Well, I
Yeah.
would say Rocky 4 is an action montage, but you know that's
Yeah.
you know,
montage.
but I mean, like they're not the first thing. I just included them on the rough draft because I saw them listed as technically, if you were include boxing fights as action, you know, they kind of make the list.
Gotcha.
But you know, it is what it is.
Yeah,
But I'm not like I wasn't gonna fight to have Rocky 4 in the top 10 greatest action films of the 80s or anything like that. So I don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like die on that hill.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
There's way more
That-
Stallone movies and things like that are more straight action. That's for sure.
yeah. Well, with that, we'll throw it to you, Austin. So if you got one you want to.
Yeah, so I'm going to bring up one that didn't make the ranking list that I think it should be an easy S tier. I'm going to bring up the Road Warrior, George Miller's Mad Max 2: The Road Warrior.
It's on
So
here if anyone sees it.
it's not the one on the left because that's Thunderdome. Where's the actual Road Warrior?
I have it under Road Warrior. I think is what it is. I think
Maybe it's under Mad
I
Max.
think.
it's under
It's
Mad
not-
Max.
You know what? Maybe
Well, that
it's not
should
on
be
there.
should be on Thunderdome. Did you leave it off? Don't you dare tell me you left it
No.
off, Jordan.
No, I specifically remember including it. So, like,
Hmm.
we keep talking about it, and I can
Then.
I can look like it'll be on here. I just gotta find it because I have the graphics like sitting on my computer.
Oh, there it is. I see it. It's under Superman 4. Under Superman 4. Right underneath it.
4.
Yeah, it's kind of the square up with
I'm not
the. Yeah.
even seeing- I'm not even seeing Superman.
That's the-
Keep
Oh,
going under. Yeah, the Superman row,
Oh, yeah.
right next to the
There
Punisher.
you go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you
Okay.
Mhm.
Gonna say like I know I included it. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So, if you love Mad Max Fury Road, then I think you could easily make a case that for an 80s version, the Road Warrior was the prototype. It's still amazing. It still holds up. All the practicality in 1981 that George Miller would later bring to Fury Road, he started here. Incredible creativity, chase sequences, just all the cool just look of this movie. The fight vehicles, you know, they got the gyrocopter, which is a lot of fun. Mel Gibson just being a super cool, you know, badass in the movie. You got Lord Humongous in his BDSM gear, you know, calling out, you know,
It's a mask and all
Celine, you know,
that.
like all that stuff is great. Yeah, with the hockey mask, it's awesome. Just a cool creative setup. Great world that he creates here, and again, some of the greatest, you know, practical chase sequences, and just a hell of a lot of fun. I think if we put Mad Max Fury Road, which we did on our 2010s, right near the top, I'm not saying this has to be right at the top, but I think you can't discount the original Road Warrior because it's basically just the 80s version of that, and it still rules. So I'm making my case for the Road Warrior to be on the top 10 in the S tier.
Yeah. Sounds good. And the Road Warrior was one that I watched in preparation for this. So I watched it about like 3 days ago or so, and yeah, like this movie rocks. This movie is awesome. I mean, it's kind of like where. Well, without the Road Warrior, you wouldn't have Mad Max Fury Road. I mean, like pretty much like it's where they got most of everything from, and like there's some pretty cool just scenes. There's like a cool scene where I forget if it's a lady or if it's a kid, but with the boomerang and like cuts the guy's hand off with a boomerang or something, and then there's just like some really cool like with all them and like all those dune buggies and like the different like the converted cars and like in the convertibles and yeah, just really cool. Just like it's all just kind of pretty. Like even for the 80s, like it's just pretty stunning to just look at like all the different sets and like the different vehicles and the different costumes and it's all practical. So like that's really really cool that they're able to have so much detail. Like it's really detailed in it. And yeah, and then Mad Max, like he's just a badass. He's this kind of guy that just kind of comes in, gets what what he wants. He helps a few people, and he just takes off like into the sunset, and then those people in particular, they never hear from him. It's one thing I really like about the Mad Max, like that they could do with a lot of other characters. I feel like they just have stories. Like it's not like anything like a direct sequel necessarily. They're just stories and like the myth of Mad Max. So it just kind of comes in.
He's like the man with no name. He's like the Clint Eastwood man with no name. He strolls into a town. There's something that needs to be helped out with. He helps out with it. He moves on to the next story, which is how you can put kind of Mad Max Fury Road into continuity with it. It's just a different guy playing him. He strolls into this area. There's something that needs to be done, and he gets it done. It's just what it is.
Yeah. So per Austin's recommendation, I watched the second Mad Max, and I didn't watch. Well, I haven't seen any of the other ones, so kind of watched it out of context. But I wanted to start with the one most people I think would probably consider the best one. So I'll go back and I'll watch the other ones eventually. But I have seen Road Warrior, so yeah, S tier for me. Yeah, but yeah, Papa.
All right, real quick, I have two questions for Pez. The first one is if I love Fury Road, then I'll love Mad Max 2, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
What if I cannot stand Fury Road?
Oh my god.
Well, then you're a fucking idiot.
Fun fact, guys, I'm a fucking idiot. I cannot stand Mad Max Fury Road. It's also the only Mad Max movie I have seen, and it immediately turned me off of the whole franchise. I've still thought about watching the original ones, but it does not last long. I have not.
No, you're good. We can't be.
Well, that's fine. I'd rather him say not have seen it than us be talking about Fury Road and he votes it like an F tier. So at least he just says on this one, Road Warrior hasn't seen it, and it doesn't really affect anything. So that's fine.
Yeah, I used to have the Mad Max Fury Road poster, but I switched it out over time. But it used to be in my background here. But
all right, Richie. Come on, it's a classic of Australia. It's your boy. You got to vote for this one.
The thing with tier ranker and rankum is that like sometimes you just got to guess what people have said, and I assumed people people on the panel wouldn't have seen the Road Warrior, so that's why I didn't. That's why I didn't bring it up. But like I should have brought it up anyway and just trust my gut. Because this movie it's sacrilege to not like this movie in Australia. It's fantastic. It's probably the best. Like Fury Road's up there, but Mad Max 2, Road Warrior is up there as well. Absolute S tier.
Yeah. Steven, what do you think?
So I started watching it today, actually, for the first time. But I only had 4 hours of sleep last night, and I had a long day at work, so I ended up falling asleep.
I did too. No excuses, Steven. I'm here.
But to be fair, I did like what I saw. I mean, it's a great looking movie. The cinematography looked great. The action looked pretty solid. There was some really cool pyrotechnics. But I can't give it an honest grade because I haven't seen enough of it. So I'll have to say I haven't seen it.
Yeah, well, that's fair. Matt?
Yeah, it's definitely S tier. This is one of those movies that punctured the pop culture zeitgeist in the 1980s. And to echo what you said, if it wasn't for this, we wouldn't have Mad Max Fury Road. If it wasn't for this, we wouldn't have Babe or Big Pig in the City.
Yeah.
So
I would argue that not having Babe Pig in the City would be a good thing.
But no, I agree.
That movie has a cult following.
That is slander. That's a classic movie. Wash your mouth out, Steven.
Yeah. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it was
all the people who have seen it. Yeah.
For best of 1998.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, of the people who have seen it, which is 4 votes, they're all S tier, so it's still above Star Trek and They Live and all that stuff. So it's still a clean sweep for what we have. Jordan.
Yeah. So it'll just stay there. Probably.
It'll be above Star Trek and They Live.
My internet's getting a little wonky, but
it'll be below Terminator.
Yeah.
Be behind Terminator for right now.
Uh,
So yeah, it might end up in lower S
yeah.
tier just because of the amount of votes.
There
But
you
yeah,
go.
it'll be there. All right.
You think what I said was blasphemy? Did anybody just read what Malcolm wrote?
Oh boy, I didn't see. What do you write?
No.
I don't
I'm
look
not
at the
prepared for
comments.
this. What?
Oh wow!
Jesus
What?
Christ.
Yeah,
What the
yeah.
hell?
The better.
Malcolm.
Yeah, right.
Malcolm, I
Jesus.
What we call him, hot
disagree.
take. Yep.
That's
Oh, that is,
Oh.
that's such a hot take. I smell bacon.
that's freezing cold.
Yeah,
take,
yeah.
Actually, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Which, you know what? They're both still better than Chicken Run.
I'll fucking leave this straight
Yeah.
anyway.
I don't love Chicken Run, but I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Well,
All right,
move on to my
Jordan.
pick, I
We'll go to
guess.
you next pick. Yeah.
Yeah, so I got to go with the one, like you wore the shirt, Austin, get to the chopper. So I got to go with Predator.
Get to the chopper.
Chopper.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
we're going to have aliens up there. We're going to have Predator. So, I mean,
Well, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you ain't got time to bleed. So let's see. Here it is. Okay. Cool.
This is another one of
That
those
posted
where
a
it's
little
like, is
more
anybody
recognition.
not voting S tier on this, or do is
Yeah,
it a formality? But yeah, we can still talk about it. But
Yeah. For an action movie, yeah, like it's just great. Like you're one ugly motherfucker. like there's so many good lines and like just kind of seeing him go. Well, he starts out with the group of all these soldiers and like it's really great and all the camaraderie and everything and like all these big like badass guys and then by the end of it just comes down to just a one-on-one fight between him and this alien, the Predator, and yeah, like just seeing all the different things that they're both able to do. Some similarities. They both kind of camouflage themselves, and they both have different tactics. And I think that the Predator, like we went into a deeper dive on an episode of Blind Spots before, and yeah, like just the respect that the Predator actually shows towards Arnold, to where he's able to like face him 1 versus 1 and not just like kill him in 2 seconds like he does to everyone else. I think it's just a really cool thing. But yeah, I will say a pretty easy S tier though for Predator. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Papa?
Yeah, easy S tier. Super quotable. We could spend the next 3 hours quoting this entire movie pretty much.
Mhm.
But let's not, please, guys. Some people have some.
Yeah.
So yeah, easily. I would say like super high S tier. If I can. do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Makes
sure.
it better than everyone else's S.
Yeah. Richie, what do you think?
Yeah, I will keep it short. This movie rules. Yeah, it should be on S tier and yeah, like near the top of S tier. I think it's a good spot for it. So yeah, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Steven?
It's pretty obvious this is making S tier. I don't have an issue with that. I personally probably would have gone more high A, but S tier's fine for it too. So I'll go with S tier.
Yeah.
You're right.
Matt?
It's just fine, Steven. It's just a fine
Yeah, but
movie.
Maybe the party. Just
Yeah. Matt.
I said S tier as well.
Okay.
Oh
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
What's there to add? No, I mean the only thing I would say is it's just a fascinating case in almost a reverse action movie in that it starts out with the macho gunfights, shoot 'em ups, and things like that, and breaks down into a raw guerrilla warfare, one-on-one, stripped down action movie. It's kind of one of the fascinating things about it. It doesn't build up to a big shoot 'em up climax. It's kind of the reverse of that, which is what's fascinating and cool about Predator. And and Arnold becomes the Predator throughout the movie because he has to resort to being the hunter, at the end. So it's pretty cool. It's come on, it's an easy S tier. It's one of the best movies ever. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll just put it right up in contention. We'll talk about it later, but we'll put it right there. So, but yeah. All right. Well, we'll throw it back down to Papa West. So, you got another one you want to bring up?
Yeah. Go down just a little bit further. We're going to be in the case for this one. You can go ahead and stop We're gonna go with the sci-fi classic that I really love, Krull. It's kind of right in the middle. There we go. A lot of people call this King Arthur in space.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy trying to save the girl, and then some of the creepiest aliens that are in fact the Krull. Very creepy looking, very scary. And then the best weapon in all of movies, you have the glaive, which is right there on the poster. Jordan, you are a little premature in putting it at S tier because
All
while I
right.
realize I make crazy statements sometimes, some of which are true, like Fury Road being garbage. Some I know my limits. Krull is a great movie. It is not an S tier. I'm going to say it's a B tier. But basically,
All right.
it just needs a lot more love than it gets.
Yeah. Sounds good. Well, Richie, what do you think for Krull?
I mean, I think Papa was what was up before, and I think it got brought up maybe in his top 64, but I hadn't seen it then, haven't seen it now. So
Top 64.
Yeah. Well, Steven?
Haven't seen it.
Oh, all right. We need at least 3 of us. So, Matt, have you seen it?
Nope.
Okay. Austin?
I saw it a long time ago. I will say fantasy's not really my bag. Like stuff like Krull and Excalibur and Legend. A lot of these like Willow, like these fantasy kind of movies are not really my thing. Krull's one of the better ones, and I will say Ken Marshall, Papa, in this movie looks a lot like Chris Pratt. If you look at IMDb, like the pictures for this movie, he looks exactly like Chris Pratt. It's kind of scary. So if you're doing an 80s version of Guardians of the Galaxy, you cast Ken Marshall as Star-Lord. But yeah, I think B is a good spot for it, because it is one of the better ones for a genre that's not really totally my thing.
Yeah. And sorry, Papa, I have not seen it, so it's one of the ones that I thought about it, but I was just like, I don't know if I'm quite ready to dive into that yet, but I will someday. Yeah, but
with that, you're going to get another pick because Krull's going to go into the haven't seen category. Unfortunately, we need at least 3 votes to get it up there. But with that, when we do that, you get another pick, so you can talk about something else. If there's something else
Okay, we'll go ahead and say right where you're at, Jordan, because I need to redeem myself. Something that hopefully everyone here has seen. I'm going to go with 1989's Batman.
Nope, never seen it.
Nope.
Yeah.
Never
seen it. Never heard of it. What's that?
And this I will put
Where
Batman.
the hell did you get that movie poster from? Because that is not the movie poster.
I don't know, but that's one that pops up for Batman. That's the movie
Yeah,
poster.
because movie
Yeah,
poster
movie
have the
poster.
2 extra little
that's
things.
maybe poster. Yeah.
I don't know.
But Jordan, we will go ahead and throw this one up in S tier. We had oh crap, what's his first name? The guy who plays Batman. I know his last name is West. It's my Adam.
Adam
You have
West.
the campy Adam West. I obviously knew his last name. No way I'm going to forget that. But you have the campy Adam West TV shows and then the movies. But you never had like a serious Batman until you had this one, which was really weird because Michael Keaton was really known for comedies. But he gives an amazing performance. To be one of the best Batmans. Jack Nicholson gives a fantastic performance. Which as the Joker, which his Joker is one of the top villains in any Batman movie, and is immediately what people talk about when they're talking about other Jokers. Where does he rank to Jack Nicholson's? This really, I'd probably say, is what skyrocketed the comic book adaptation movies. Fantastic movie, belongs in S tier.
Yeah.
Richie?
Richie, what do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I do love Batman, and I like I love. I think Michael Keaton's the best Batman. But and looking forward to seeing if we ever see him in supposed to be in Flashpoint, right? So
If that movie ever comes out, which I'm still not convinced it'll ever come out.
With the Ezra Miller news, probably not.
Yeah, now we've got the issues with Ezra Miller, so probably not. But like, if it ever comes out, that'd be nice to see him there. But I feel that movie's been coming out for about 20 years. Like, it's and I do like the movie. I don't know if I'd put it on S tier among other ones. I think I would give it a solid A though. I think it's a good Batman film.
All right. Yeah. Well, Steven, what do you think?
I do love Batman. I will probably agree that it's high A only because there's another superhero movie that I happen to love just a little more.
Okay.
The Punisher, right?
Yeah,
Dolph Lundgren. I agree. I agree. S tier.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Definitely not that
I'll agree.
one.
Oh,
Yeah.
S tier for me as well.
I will say it's pretty amazing. Just a quick side tangent. The two Marvel movies we had in the 80s, it's pretty amazing when you think about it, are The Punisher and Howard the Duck. It's pretty amazing. Those are the two Marvel movies we got in the 80s.
Why were those the first
two
ones?
of all the Marvel stuff. Not any of the Avengers, not any of those characters. It's Punisher and Howard the Duck. There you go.
Yep. Yeah. Well, Austin, what do you think?
Oh, Matt needs to go first.
Yeah. No, it's definitely S tier for me. It's a lot of
Oh,
great
okay,
moments in
sorry.
this movie, where did you get those wonderful toys? I will say the Joker scared the shit out of me for the longest time when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, S tier.
Yeah. Austin?
Papa, I'm so glad you brought this up because to this day, it's still my favorite Batman movie of all time. This movie effing rules. It's great. This is the one Batman movie that still gets me super just adrenalized when I watch it. I finally got to see it in the theater a couple years ago, which was one of my bucket list things. I had never seen it. It's great. I think just the moments in this movie when you combine the action with that great Danny Elfman score just gets you super hyped. When they're running out of the place and she says, or get in the car, which one, and you just see the Batmobile, and then they hit the chase.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Just like some of those perfect movie moments. I think the action in this movie is great, and I think it still holds up. I love Batman '89, so I would go an easy S tier on this one.
Yeah. This one's a pretty easy S tier. It's hard for me to decide who my favorite Batman is because I bounce back and forth between him and Christian Bale, but the kicker is I hate that voice Christian Bale does. But beyond that, I think he's a great Batman. But this one's easy though. Yeah, this one, like this movie, like I don't know, like when it came out, it just stuck in my mind for like years. I just kept going back to it, thinking like for the better part of the 90s, like it was one of the best movies I had seen in like almost ever, and it just really blew me away. And yeah, like Michael Keaton's awesome. I mean, Jack Nicholson's really creepy, and it's a fun time. So that's an easy S tier. So.
Okay. Well, we've got 4 S's and 2 A's, so it's enough to keep it up there, but it's going to bump over Star Trek and They Live again. Wow, again, Star Trek and They Live are getting ever so close to getting bumped down to that A tier. They're just hanging on by a thread. Just hanging on.
So close, yeah.
Yeah. We'll go back to Richie.
Yeah. All right.
Talk between bringing up a movie that sucks or bringing up a movie that will be brought up. Bring up a movie that will eventually be brought up anyway.
We can talk about a movie that sucks just for fun. We don't have anything in D or F yet.
I feel like the movie that got in my mind will get brought up eventually. So I will. And I don't even know if many people. I don't know how many people have seen it, but Red Sonja.
I probably have.
Red Sonja. This movie sucks. Like Bridget Nielsen is supposed to be like this like star making vehicle for her, and she's not good in it. Terrible. The special effects are terrible. This is like look you might be able to have fun if you go into it knowing it's bad, but but I do also find it boring, so maybe not. That's just me. But yeah, this movie is really really bad, and it deserves to be an F tier.
Yeah. Sounds good. Steven, what do you think?
Haven't seen it, and this wasn't on my list to watch, even though it is, I think, in one of the sites. I think it's on HBO Max, because I didn't think anybody was going to bring it up because I didn't hear any good things about it.
Yeah. No. You don't really ever hear too much about this movie, Matt.
This movie shite. It's gobs.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely that's. It's there. I saw it when I was a kid and realized how bad it was back then.
Yeah. Yep. Might be unanimous. We'll see. Austin.
Yeah, Red Sonja is. They tried to make like basically a female Conan the Barbarian, and even threw Arnold in there as not Conan because he's not Conan in that movie, despite what it looks like on the poster. But it's not. And it's funny. Richard Fleischer, the guy who directed this movie, he used to direct like really good movies. He directed like the original 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and like Soylent Green and Tora, like some good stuff. And then his last couple of movies before he passed away, like this, Conan the Destroyer, which sucks, Amityville 3D, which sucks. Like he made a lot of like really bad movies in his later years, which is unfortunate. But yeah, like Red Sonja, it's like there are people online, I swear, that have said this is like, oh no, it's an underrated cult. No, this movie shite, a big pile of shite. So yeah. Yeah, it does have a few fans because it literally has a 4K now off of Zavi. Like there are people who clamor for it, and it has this movie has a 4K before True Lies and The Abyss, and some of these other movies that have never gotten even proper Blu-ray releases, which is a damn shame. But yeah, Red Sonja blows. Yeah,
yeah. I've never seen it, but I do know that they're getting ready to make a remake of it, though. That's going to star Hannah John Kamen, which if anyone doesn't know that, she played the character Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp, and she's going to be the new Red Sonja.
I have no issue with people remaking movies that suck because you can only go up.
Well, no, and I'm going to agree with you, Richie. I think they should make movies that had good premises, but like either sucked or just didn't live up to the full potential. That's why, like, I love The Running Man, but I'd be okay with them making a Running Man remake because there's material there, and it's like remake movies that like had a good premise but kind of blew. Like remake those movies because I'm totally fine. Because like it can't be worse, really. Potentially, I mean it can be bad too, but like it can't really be worse. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's going to be it says it's going to be directed by Joey Soloway, who was the showrunner of the Amazon series Transparent, is what it is.
Okay.
Well, actually, and actually, Jordan, I have to tell you, there's an article from March that says Red Sonja is looking for a new star after Hannah John Kamen falls out. So
dang.
she's not going to get it now. So this movie may not get made. We'll see.
Yeah, right. Because the original was from Hollywood Reporter, but I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's not.
Yeah, maybe it's going to be in development hell for a little while. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But anyways, I haven't seen it, so yeah. But Papa West
still got 3 F votes. All right, yeah. So Papa West can go, but so far we got enough to keep it in F for now because at least enough votes to keep it on the chart. Yeah, Papa.
Don't forget about Papa.
Yeah.
Come on,
No.
I think this is like a mandatory watch. Like you have to see this movie because of how bad it is. They're like those so bad it's good movies, and then there's like the trash that you just have to see. Red Sonja is trash.
Yeah. Yeah, it's trash. So so I guess it's unanimous.
I will say I would like to see older Arnold right now as King Conan, which they've been talking about for years. I actually wouldn't mind that. Like have him be old like King Conan, which they've been talking about forever, and then have a younger, action guy in the movie. But that's just a whole other topic.
Yeah.
Let's pull the trigger on that.
Sequel, like to Conan the Destroyer. Yeah. But Steven,
all right, go to Steven.
You got one you want to bring up?
I'll go with one movie that I was afraid Richie was going to bring up because it's a movie that most people consider bad, but it's not. I'm not ever suggesting it for S tier. I'll go for B tier. It's a movie I loved as a kid, and I still have fond memories of. Masters of the Universe.
Ooh, yeah. There we go. Right there.
And I still enjoy it. I'm not saying it's a great movie or anything. I still enjoy the hell out of that. In fact, I've only really enjoyed Dolph Lundgren in I actually did like his appearance on Arrow, but other than that, out of his movies, I only ever really liked him in 2 movies, Universal Soldier and this one. and of course you have Frank Langella, who's like perfectly cast as Skeletor. And I mean, if you're a He-Man fan like I am, that's not very faithful to the cartoon series. I mean, most of it takes place on Earth. There's no Prince Adam. Most of the characters like King Randor and Queen Marlena are not in it. Instead of Orko, we have this character called Gwildor.
Yeah.
But I still enjoy the heck out of it. It's a big guilty pleasure for me. So it's a B tier for Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Matt,
I agree. B tier. And also the reason why all those things happened is because there literally was no budget. The movie actually got they got the production halted. What was it, like 3/4 of the way through production or something like that?
They ran out of money. They ran out of money and had to film the climax in like somebody's garage. Like it was nuts. Yeah, like when you think about it. Yeah, it's insane. Yeah.
A little bit of trivia and something for you to think about. There is a movie on this list that originally started its life as a sequel to this movie.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about, actually.
Yeah. But yeah, this movie is one of those it's so bad it's fun movies,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, I definitely beat.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those. Yeah, but Austin.
Yeah, it's definitely B tier. I do have a fondness for those batshit crazy Canon films. If you've seen the Electric Boogaloo documentary about Canon films, I highly recommend it. It's really interesting. I might bring up a Canon films movie on my pick here in a minute. But yeah, like Masters of the Universe is crazy because it's got all these. It tries to be this He-Man thing, and then it turns into this weird like fish out of water story where they're just like walking around this town, and it's weird. And yeah, like I said, they ran out of money, so like the climax looks like shit because they literally had no budget and were like filming it in people's houses. Like it's kind of bad. But yeah, it's still a lot of fun. And yeah, Frank Langella definitely like steals the show. And he'll be back, by the way, if you stay through to the post-credit sequence. I'll be back. Yeah, but I'll go B tier for Masters of the Universe. It's still a fun B-watch.
Yeah, that final showdown between He-Man and Skeletor, the choreography of that fight, admittedly, is really bad.
God, there's that crazy homoerotic sequence where he's like whipping him with the laser whip, like while he's in his bondage outfit. It's kind of weirdly very strange.
Yeah, that's weird stuff. Yeah, because it's a movie that I've seen one time when I was younger, and the kid actually kind of liked it. Like it's kind of one of those like movies that like it's so bad that it's kind of fun to watch. But it kind of pissed me off when I was a kid because they come back in a post-credit scene and say there's going to be a sequel, and we never got that sequel. It's like, come on. and I don't know if anyone's seen the Masters of the Universe Netflix series that Kevin Smith directed. I haven't seen it, but I've heard I've heard really mixed things because they make it pretty different. So I mean, but like I don't really know. I haven't seen it, so I can't really say. But I remember there was like a video though that Kevin Smith came out and he was talking about it, and then he was crying in the video too, which is kind of odd.
Smith
but,
crying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Never, yeah. but yeah. So I will probably I'll say B. I mean, it's fine. I mean, I could go B or C, but I'll be generous and say B. Sure. But Papa?
No, this is the perfect example of a B tier movie. You cannot take yourself seriously while watching this. You have to just sit down and enjoy it for what it is. People who do not like it are wanting something that is like the Masters of the Universe cartoon, and that's not what it is. And there's a reason it's not what it is. It's perfect right where it is in the B tier.
Yep. Richie, what do you think?
Yeah, I think B tier is perfect for it. It's not. Yeah, I don't think it's terrible, but it's a B grade movie. So yeah, B. It should go in the B too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's fair. So B tier it is. Yeah. Sounds about right. So
Matt?
We'll move on to Matt. You got one you want to bring up?
I already know. It's arguably probably the greatest buddy cop film of all time, Lethal Weapon.
Oh yeah.
I am in the camp where if I'm looking for my personal ranking, Lethal Weapon 2 is number one. But Lethal Weapon 1 pretty much is the movie that made Mel Gibson a star. Yes, he had Mad Max, The Road Warrior before that, but this is the movie that blew him onto the scene. You've got this interesting dynamic of the older cop and the cop who you're not quite sure what he's going to do, if he's going to kill himself off or if he's going to do the right thing. It's very well acted by everybody. Kick-ass saxophone bits in the movie. Gary Busey as a believable psychopath villain. Never would have thought at that point. Yeah, just a great cast. Great script, Shane Black, of course. This movie's all in all S tier.
Yeah. Sounds good. Austin, what do you think?
Matt, why didn't you bring up the best one, Lethal Weapon 2? If you brought up Lethal Weapon 2, I would agree with you on S tier, but you brought up Lethal Weapon 1, which I can't go higher than A because it's actually Lethal Weapon 1 is actually my third favorite in the series. Like I was fairly late to the series. I didn't watch them until fairly recently. Me and Henry ranked them on Let's Rank stuff. I actually had Lethal Weapon 4 above Lethal Weapon as far as action movies.
I got a friend who will hit you for that one.
But yeah, if you had brought up Lethal Weapon 2, I'd roll with you on S tier because I think Lethal Weapon 2 just has the best of the best as far as everything, the quips, the action, all that stuff. The first movie just gets weirdly dark, and I'm not with it's got tonal issues for me, as far as what it's trying to do, and I don't think the action in Lethal Weapon 1 is particularly amazing, so I would go A tier. I'm not going to knock it because it's a solid movie, but if you had nominated Lethal Weapon 2, I'd be with you on S tier.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you, Austin. Like it's probably about an A for me because Lethal Weapon 2 is probably my favorite. I think it's just where they get the chemistry a little tighter and kind of more kind of quippy, like the one-liners and the more action.
Okay.
You want to switch it?
Yeah.
You want to switch it?
Switch?
No, it's too late. You can't switch it. You're stuck with what you did.
All right.
No,
Yeah. We can do it because if we're going to talk about one, we can talk about all of them. So might as well talk about them both. So we can do that. But yeah, I'm going to say A tier, but maybe we'll just go around for Lethal Weapon 1 and then we'll do it again for Lethal Weapon 2. We can do that. So, Papa.
So you want to know what I think? I think I'm getting too old for this shit.
Yeah.
Thank you for not stealing my line, Jordan. No.
I almost did. I thought about it.
Exactly what has been said. Lethal Weapon is good. I wouldn't put it in S tier. I'd put it more at kind of the lower A. And then if we do what you're talking about doing, Lethal Weapon 2 would be an S tier. But we're just talking about Lethal Weapon right now, so it's a low A.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Richie.
Yeah. I echo everybody's sentiments. I like Lethal Weapon 2 a bit better, but Lethal Weapon, the first one is good. So I would say A.
Yeah. Steven?
Guess I'm in the minority here because even though I love both of them, I do like the first one just slightly more. I like the darker edge that the first one has, and I disagree that the action isn't as good. I mean, the especially when they're captured, and Riggs. Actually, no, they're both tortured, and that scene is super intense. And then when Riggs escapes by breaking the guy's neck with his legs, I mean that's just awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it. I love it when Jack Bauer does that on 24 as well.
Yeah. True.
And in the final fight at the end between Riggs and Mr. Joshua, I absolutely love both of these movies. It's for me, it's an easy S tier for Lethal Weapon.
Yeah. Well, we got 2 S's and
and 4 A's.
4 A's.
So it's actually exactly the same as Empire. So it'll go down next to Empire.
Yeah, it can go down.
Yeah.
I can live with that.
On there. But But for
Do
Lethal
we want
Weapon
to go
2,
ahead around and do Lethal Weapon 2? We can roll around on Lethal Weapon 2.
We do it too.
Just for fun. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could just make it quick for Lethal Weapon 2. We'll just say quick, but let's say wherever it is.
It is right.
It's right in the middle.
There you go.
Yeah. Or in the
Yeah.
full metal jacket. Uh-huh.
All right, so this,
All right. Matt, you want to start with
So
Lethal
Matt,
Weapon 2? You
Yeah,
said it was your
like,
favorite.
This is my favorite of the one because this is where we start getting the comedy rigs. Just so
Yeah.
many great things in this movie, like hey Mo, and he's in the office. He shoots up the tank. You've got Murtaugh trying to immigrate to South Africa during the middle of apartheid, which is like, what the hell? And of course, the best line, the best comeback: diplomatic immunity is just been.
It's just been revoked.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
the movie was originally supposed to kill off Martin Riggs. That's why he got shot so many times.
yeah. Yep.
So yeah, no,
Very true.
this is like S tier all the friggin' way. Plus, we get the introduction of the great Joe Pesci as Leo Getz.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. Austin, what do you think?
Yeah, for Lethal Weapon 2, I'll go S tier because that's my favorite of the series. I think it combines the best of the action, the best of the buddy chemistry, comedy. I think they just really nailed it with this one. Like Shane Black kind of tightened up the script from the original, and I think just brought it all together. I really like the Joe Pesci, Leo Getz character. I'm a defender of that. And yeah, Joss Ackland's awesome as the diplomatic villain. So yeah, I'll go S tier for Lethal Weapon 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I like this weapon too, especially because they had Joe Pesci, and where it's like they fuck you at the drive-thru, you're gonna be miles away before you find out you get fucked. So yeah, like just like all the random lines that he has, and I think that the action in Lethal Weapon, the first one is great, but this one kind of even ramps it up even a little bit better. So yeah, I just kind of like it a little better. They're kind of like almost on the same lines, but I think if we're going to be splitting hairs, I would say first one's A, the second one is S for me. Yeah.
My favorite little note about Martin Riggs is that he prefers to run in a car chase rather than get in another car. His first instinct is just run after cars, which is one of my favorite little things about him. Like a car takes off, he's like, "Oh, I'll just catch up and run." Like it's just he's a fast runner. I'll give him that.
Yeah, but they fit well together because like Riggs is like the one that just jumps into action and does the crazy action stuff, and then then you got the and I'm too old.
Danny Glover's too old for this shit. Yeah. He's too old to run.
Yeah. So, but Papa what?
I think I'm still too old for this shit. No, I said it 5 minutes ago. If Lethal Weapon is an A, Lethal Weapon 2 is an S.
Yep. Yeah.
All right, Richie.
Yeah, I don't have any more to add really. Lethal Weapon 2 is an S. Like what you all said. The chemistry is kind of turned up to 11 here, and it's just the writing's a bit better. So yeah, I think Lethal Weapon 2 is an S.
Yeah. Steven?
So I enjoyed 3 and 4, but I think 1 and 2 are both head and shoulders above 3 and 4 because I think even though 2's not quite as hard edged as 1, it still has a lot of some darkness to it. I mean, like when they kill off Riggs' girlfriend, and then they try to drown him, and then he has to like dislocate his shoulder to get out of being tied up and chained. And that fight at the end Riggs has with the main henchman, and like he gets the knife into his leg, in the back of his leg, and then he kills him by dropping that big thing on him. I mean, that's a brutal way to go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think 1 and 2 are both S tier movies.
Plus, 2 wraps up Riggs' storyline with the resolution of his wife's murder.
Yeah. Yep.
Well,
Yeah, well,
it's a clean.
unanimous.
Well, it's a clean sweep for Lethal Weapon 2. So yeah, it's going to be right up
Yeah.
in there, the top 5 right
Yeah.
now with those other
Yeah.
5. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
might go
All right,
watch that
well,
today just for off wasting time.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. Well,
we'll go to
Austin,
Matt.
you're up. So.
No, Matt. I think. Well, did Steven nominate Lethal Weapon?
No,
I
it was
did.
Matt. It
Oh,
was
Matt.
Matt.
I did both.
Matt did.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Just make
Yeah.
sure. Okay. I'm tempted. Yeah, to either go for kind of a fun B movie or one of my picks, but I think we might have enough time to go around and do another regular pick. So I'll wait on that. So I'll bring up another Canon Films classic. I'm going to bring up Death Wish 3.
Okay.
Not for S tier. I'm not nominated for S tier. I'm going to put it right next to Master of the
This
Universe
one?
in the B tier.
Not Death
It's
Wish
on the
4,
left side.
Death Wish 3.
No, that's the
Yeah,
Crackdown.
there you
No, Death Wish 3.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you have not seen it, Death Wish 3 is fucking bonkers. It's insane. No, in the B tier. So because the original one starts out as this kind of gritty, street level revenge movie, all that, and even the second one is kind of very similar to that. Death Wish 3's Canon Films acquired it, wanted to turn it into an action franchise with old Charles Bronson, and basically it's like it has nothing to do with like revenge anymore. It's just like him living in this shitty area of town, and there's a gang, including one Alex Winter of Bill and Ted fame, who tells some amazing stories about the making of this movie, about how Charles Bronson would take a limo from one block to another instead of just walking, and would get into a car, drive up the street to the block to the set, and then get out of the car. It's pretty incredible. But it turns this little revenge flick into literally the end of the movie is a massacre of him fighting this gang with bazookas and giant machine guns, and it is absolutely incredibly bonkers. I highly recommend. What's that?
Isn't this the one with the rape of his daughter?
Maybe, but it's hazy. Like it's like it's always some family member, but as far as like it's not just him going after like the one person or the couple of people, it's like him just massacring like an entire town essentially. It's and the police like endorse it under the table in this movie. They're just like, well, as long as we get the credit for eliminating the gang, you can do whatever you want. So it makes no sense, but it's a lot of fun. It's really silly. It's a perfect kind of B movie because it's amazingly bad, but in an incredible way. So yeah, Death Wish 3, B tier.
Yeah. Well, I've never seen any of the Death Wishes except for, I think, was it Bruce Willis that like was in the remake of it? Is that?
Yeah.
Is that it? Yeah.
The shoe and Bruce Willis.
I've seen that one, but I haven't seen it in like any of the original.
I've seen that.
Was not good. So, but Death Wish, I haven't seen any of the original ones. But now I just want to go look up interviews from Alex Winters talking about this movie. So, but
yeah.
So I can't really comment though. So, but Papa, have you seen it? Death Wish 3?
I have not.
Okay. Richie.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you, Jordan. I've seen the remake because I was just like, I was just looking for something to watch. I'm like, I'll watch that, and then
What's a movie? I mean, it's not like horrible, but it's not great.
The originals went on with the streaming site I was on, so I was just like, I'll watch this, and then it wasn't good, but so I mean, the way you describe it, I want to go watch it. Death Wish 3 now, but I haven't seen as of now. I haven't seen.
Yeah. Well, Steven, have you seen it?
I have not seen any of the Death Wish movies. Unlike you guys, that even includes the remake.
Okay. Nice. Well, Matt, have you seen it?
I'm actually in the same boat as Steven. I know about this movie because of the Electric Boogaloo documentary, but I've never seen a Death Wish film.
Okay. Well,
you're gonna get another shot.
Well, unfortunately, we got to throw it down.
That's okay.
Here
That's okay. I highly recommend it if you want a crazy 80s action movie. But as my alternate pick, I will go to a tried and true Universal S tier film, and it's my tagline of the night. So I got to go with Robocop. Robocop has to be an S tier.
Where's it?
Yeah,
I know it's down here.
on the left side, right next to Return of the Jedi.
There we go.
Yeah. What's there to say about RoboCop? Great concept. dead cop getting turned into this kind of cyborg robotic man, and then being programmed with all these objectives, and just great classic 80s stuff. Like spitting out one-liners even though he's a robot. Fantastic villain with Kurtwood Smith from that 70s show. He's incredible. Bitches leave. All this stuff he's great. The little Weasley guy who's always laughing with him was a lot of fun. But a lot of great character actors throughout the movie. I think Peter Weller actually gives a really good performance when it comes down to it. It's got some really good dramatic stuff underneath it, and the movie can get quite brutal at times. Like his actual murder is pretty brutal. You got the guy who gets dumped with the toxic waste at the end, which is great. But yeah, great stuff all around. Classic 80s stuff. A movie that should not be as good as it is, and yet it is because of Paul Verhoeven. So yeah, RoboCop is S tier.
Yeah. RoboCop's S tier for sure. And I even like the remake that they had with Michael Keaton. I didn't hate it, but I mean, it's nothing compared to the original. Like for me, the best part is like you have him doing some cool action scenes, but he just kind of like a clunkier kind of old school like robot, but it actually works. And then he has all these one-liners that are pretty funny. Like I'd buy that for $1, or like Dead or Alive, You're Coming With Me, or like there's even one where was I call them all a scumbag or something, and like the scumbags sue the judges on Monday morning or whatever. So RoboCop's great. It's a movie that I haven't gone back to for a long time, but I actually really want to go back and watch it because it's a lot of fun. So yeah, I'll say S tier, pretty easy. Yeah. But Papa West.
This is one of those sad examples of you take a great movie that is RoboCop, and you're like, we're going to make a franchise out of this. I do not like RoboCop 2 or 3, and the 2014 with Joel Kinnaman is absolute garbage. But thankfully, we're not talking about any of those. We are talking about the first RoboCop, which I believe I was on a rankum of 1980 sci-fi, and this was not. This was like one of my honorable mentions at the end. I was like, I'm so upset we did not talk about this. Pez, thank you for bringing this up, because this was going to be my Hail Mary of mine towards the end. RoboCop absolutely deserves to be on this list, and it deserves to be an S tier. And it deserves a better franchise than what it got.
Yeah. Yeah.
The TV miniseries that they did were pretty shit too. The Prime Directive stuff was pretty bad as well.
Oh, okay.
I will say that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's available on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I
Probably
this is my next thing I was going to bring up. So gonna have to think of something else. No, like I brought this up on Rankin. This movie's fantastic. I love Paul Verhoeven. I think Peter Weller does a great job. Yeah, it's hard not to see Kurtwood Smith as Red, but like he's so good. He's good in this movie. And to be honest, it's definitely S tier. And honestly, we're not getting into it, but I'm a defender of the remake. I think it's all right. But 2 and 3,
I think the remake is good too. I'm a defender of that movie as well.
Yeah. Well, Steven,
Steven,
what do you think?
Yeah, it was in my top 64. I absolutely love this movie. And Malcolm, get ready to drink again, because 5 of the actors that are in this movie were also on 24.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You brought up earlier too. Yeah.
yeah.
Malcolm. Yeah, Steven mentioned 24. So now drink. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you have Kurtwood Smith was in 24. Peter
was
Weller.
Randy Cox in there at some point?
No, not Randy Cox. He wasn't, unfortunately, but Peter Weller was. The I don't know why. No, besides Kurtwood, Paul McCrane was in it. I don't know, whatever. It's an easy S tier. I absolutely love this movie. And as for the remake goes, I don't hate the remake. I don't love it. I think the first half of the movie, when it's kind of doing its own thing, is better than the second half when it becomes, a remake of the original. It's not as good, but it's okay.
Yeah. Yep, I would agree. But Matt,
Yeah.
what do you think for RoboCop?
Yeah, this is easily an S tier. This is an iconic movie of the 80s. I have not seen 2 or 3. I also think the remake is okay, and it has a scene that haunts me still to this day, and that is when you just see what's left. It's the head and the spinal.
His head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That just oh my god, I'll never forget that. But the original is definitely an 80s classic, high S in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
was it
It's,
unanimous or?
it's unanimous, so it's again
Yeah.
up there in those top 5 or 6 that are unanimous so far. So yeah.
We're gonna have a battle when we have to decide what's gonna be the number one.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be something.
Yeah. But
all right.
well, I want to bring up one that might be a bit of a hot take that like as a movie that I think that's like one of those like so bad that I kind of think that it's like fun to watch. I'm not gonna say it's great. I'm not gonna rank it super high, but I want to talk about Superman 4: The Quest for Peace, just because. Because the movie's terrible, but like I was pretty late to it. Like I just saw it at the beginning of this year, and for an episode we were doing, and like
Another Canon
We
Films,
just
by
made-
the way. Just wanted to point that out.
Yep.
yeah, the movie made me laugh though because there's just so many like ridiculous things that's like almost kind of entertaining. Like I think I'm gonna rank it like not as low as you would think. I'm gonna rank it a C, but yeah, there's just some like pretty ridiculous things. Like it's just Superman. Like he's not as jacked. Like he's just not very buff. Like Christopher Reeve maybe like didn't work out for it or I don't know. And
No, he
then
didn't. He did not. He did not work out for it. He just demanded his paycheck, and they reused
Yeah,
footage
yeah.
from the other movies of him flying. Yeah.
Yeah. But then he just gets this letter from a little kid wanting peace on Earth. So he's like sure, I'm gonna make peace. And he goes around. He takes all the nukes and just throws them into outer space. And I kind of think if that were to happen today, like countries are not just going to give up their nukes like that, no matter who you are. Like it's not like I don't really think that's really going to bring peace. So and then you have Lex Luthor coming back, but then you have John Cryer as his like little sidekick guy that just kind of what's up, dude? Totally cool. Like I think he's like is he his son or something like that? Something like that. Yeah. Oh, it's his nephew. Okay, yeah. He's playing Lenny Luthor, and then you have Nuclear Man in there that like kind of has like a cool looking costume, but that's really all you can really say about him because like he's just this guy that gets power from the sun. That seems like he could be like pretty easily defeated once you figure that out, but he's not, and like you get some pretty ridiculous battle scenes from him, and like you have you get to go back to Lex Luthor's kind of like penthouse thing up on the top of the skyscraper and all that. So it's all over the place. But like I kind of have fun with it because like I remember when I was watching it, like I was laughing pretty hard through this movie. Like I just thought that was pretty ridiculous. So like I definitely didn't take it serious, but I didn't hate it though. Like I actually kind of had fun because it was so bad. So I'm gonna say C for the Quest for Peace, but we'll see what you guys think. Papa West.
Put this right beside Red Sonja.
Yeah.
Also,
That's what I
fun
figured.
fact, Superman gets his strength from the sun too.
Yeah, true. That's a weird fact that kind of like brushed over. Yeah, but Richie.
Yeah, C's too high. It's an F. I think I saw an interview recently. It was like not recent, but like it was an interview that came up somewhere of like it was Margot Kidder, and they're like, "Oh, why do you think Christopher Reeve came back for this movie?" And she goes, "Oh, why do you think anyone does anything?" It's like money.
Yeah, the money.
So yeah, no, but yeah, this movie's so like terrible. It probably given all the issues they had, they should just cut their losses and not made it. But yeah, I get why you can have a fun watch, but I can't give it a C. C's a passing grade.
Yeah.
It's not a pass. It's a fail. F.
Yeah. Well, I've always wondered if they would have even had a fifth one if he wouldn't have had his accident. I don't know, but Steven?
So I haven't seen this since I was a kid, and I liked it as a kid, but I don't know. I doubt this would hold up as an adult. The only scene I can even really remember that I thought was funny is when he has two dates. One is Clark Kent and the other is
Yeah.
Superman, and he has
Going
to go
back and forth.
back and forth.
Yeah.
I remember laughing at that, but I'm just gonna have to say, since it's been so long, I'm just gonna have to say I haven't seen it.
Yeah. But I do like too that they kind of bring back the Fortress of Solitude a little bit, which is an element that I like. I wish that they would maybe bring that back to a Superman movie, but Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, this is an F.
Yeah.
No, I do remember liking it as a kid, but this movie is just woof. Yeah, it F tier.
It's bad. Yeah, like even when he's flying too, like it just looks so fake. Like they have him on a crane or like doing this bad. Yeah.
It's probably one of the biggest declines in a franchise from that era.
Yeah. But Austin, what do you think?
Yeah, this movie's terrible from start to finish. It's bad. I would go F tier as well. Although I do get a little bit of fun out of the Nuclear Man stuff, just because I think it's just interesting with his nice big blonde mullet and his nails and all kinds of shit. Like it's fun for what it is. But yeah, when the opening scene is him going into space and immediately opening the space door, and not everybody in there decompressing immediately, and he's having a conversation with all the astronauts in space. Like they know they don't give a shit from the very beginning of this movie about any kind of like realism or anything. I know it's a superhero movie, but come on, you got to at least have some kind of reality in there. But yeah, it's bad. This was definitely the beginning of the end. Like I know it's kind of become like a little Canon Films thing because it was kind of the beginning of the end for Canon Films because they spent a lot of their remaining money on this movie and then it bombed. So it tanked the Superman franchise. It tanked Canon Films. It's a bad movie. So I give it an F tier as well. So
Yeah. But Malcolm bringing up a good point that John Carter Lex's nephew, and then he grew up to be Lex Luthor himself. So
yeah, on the CW stuff. Yeah,
pretty damn good Lex Luthor to boot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think that probably anybody watching wouldn't take this serious if we give it any higher than an F. I just wanted to have some fun for a bit, but yeah. So I don't know if we want to do one more regular round, if we want to jump to Hail Mary. I mean, either way.
Yeah, we're at the 2-hour mark, so it's kind of what everybody's time is like, or what everybody's time constraints are. It's up to you.
I would prefer if we just went the Hail Mary because I've got to go back.
I think we can do that. I think we can do that. We're at the 2-hour mark, and then because we might take some time actually individually ranking the stuff. So, all right. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and do that. We're at the 2-hour mark. So anything that's left on the list that you guys would, and this is strictly nominations for S or high A tier. So nothing. If you want to just fun shout out, oh that movie sucks, whatever, that's fine. But we're looking for actual nominations for S or A tier from the remaining lists. So jot down anything you want to jot down that you want to shout out. And what I will do is I will write down your nominations. I'm looking for those crossovers. So even if somebody says, movie A and you agree with movie A, say it as well. So it gets a crossover vote and I can put it on the official list too. We will go back and do very quick official voting for it. So I'm looking for the crossovers. Anything you guys got, if you need a minute, I understand. If you want to write a few down or take another look at the Facebook list or this thing, whatever you want to look at. And then I will go around and get the nominations. So, I don't know if you're ready, Papa West. That's up to you. But if you're ready to shout out, I can start writing them down.
Yeah, I actually went ahead and started writing them down a couple rounds ago. So I do have a pretty good list.
Cool.
All right. Ones that, if you're ready,
just give me 2 or 3 seconds in between each one so I can write them down. That's all I ask. So don't just rattle them off rapid fire. Just give me a chance to write them down. That's all.
Okay.
All right.
So I'm going to take your advice and throw it in the trash for these first two. You'll understand why. I will go with the other 2 Indiana Jones films, Temple of Doom and The Last Crusade.
Okay.
But now I will give you a couple seconds to write it down because I'm not a horrible person.
I got it. No, sometimes I just say like Temple, Last Crusade. I know what you mean. So yeah, go ahead.
I would also say Raw Deal.
Oof.
Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah. Let's do it after
Commando.
all.
All right.
and then Escape from New York.
All right. Okay. All right, I've got them all down. We will go to Richie, sir. What do you got for your Hail Mary picks?
Yeah, I think I got them all down. I want.
Okay.
Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Okay.
48 hours. 48 hours. Escape from New York. Top Gun. Running Man. Bloodsport. Big Trouble in Little China. And Akira.
And Akira.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got them all down. So we will go to Mr. Shepard. What do you got, sir?
Okay, I have a few. So,
Mhm.
Commando,
Okay.
First Blood,
All right.
Superman 2,
Okay.
Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2,
Okay.
Temple of Doom and Last Crusade,
Okay.
Midnight Run,
All right.
and 48
All right.
Hours.
Okay. All right, sounds good. And we'll go to Mr. Matt. What do you got, sir?
Okay. So I have the Indiana Jones movies,
Okay.
Tango and Cash, just because I want to see if that would by chance make that on. Top
All
Gun,
right.
of course.
right.
And that's actually it for me.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so I'm going to run up and down my own list here. I will go Running Man, Bloodsport, I'll also second some of the indie movies. Maybe Escape from New York as well. And the Dolph Lundgren Punisher.
Yeah. Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. I called it.
I think that movie's way underrated. I think it's really good.
I was half
anyways.
joking, but I kind of thought you would.
No, I mean I wouldn't do S. I do like A. I actually think it's really good though.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
All right, so
Well,
all right, there you go.
there's one that I'm shocked nobody even brought up. So, Return of the Jedi. Anyone want to second me on that one? Return of the Jedi. Come on, guys. All right. Which is the best Star Wars movie of all time? But
You're not wrong, but it's on an Netflix.
Sorry, can I just? I know it probably won't be brought up. I just want to shout out. I forgot it. Can I play a police story?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and because I'll make it quick, but I think Return of the Jedi has better action than the Empire because you literally have 3 action scenes going on at the same time with a lightsaber battle, a space battle, and a Moon of Endor battle. But anyways, let's see what else here. Let's see. I didn't get a chance to really look while I was scrolling for everyone, but I'll nominate Cobra. Yeah, I actually really like that. The movie I watched it for the first time today.
That's a weird movie.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it is kind of weird, but I kind of liked it.
Who eats pizza like that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I'll do the other Indiana Jones movies. That's kind of a given. Big Trouble in Little China. I'll second Police Story, too. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through it on my own written list here. Let's see. I don't know if I'm seeing too much else. Let's see. Well, normally Platoon. It's a war movie, but I still think war is action, so I'll say Platoon. And that might be all, I think.
Okay.
So
All right. So if you guys will give me a minute to tally up all the crossovers so we can do official voting, and I'll get them on my own little chart list over here. Talk amongst yourselves for just a minute while I tally these up, and then we will get to it.
Yeah.
All right.
Richie, I'm really upset you never told me what your next pick was going to be.
No. Well, I did tell you. I said it was a movie called Not Telling You, and
yeah.
No, had we have done one more like actual round, I was gonna bring up The Last Crusade, and I was gonna comment, I was gonna message Richie. You know what my next pick is gonna be if you want to take it.
oh yeah,
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if I said Commando, but I think it already got multiple votes. So we'll have
It
to
actually
show that one.
didn't. So with that,
Oh,
then it will.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Then I will. We'll second.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Because I'm notorious for going through a list and like overlooking things. So
yeah. That's why I was like, oh,
Okay.
yeah.
I thought Steven
Almost.
gave it a vote along with me. Steven, didn't you vote for Commando?
Yep, I did.
Yeah, so it should have had a
Okay.
crossover.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I did. Sorry, yeah, I had them out of order, but okay. Yeah, I would have found it eventually. Like I said, that's why it takes me a second to kind of cross-reference everything and make sure I get it. Okay, I think I got one more. All right. Make sure. Okay,
There's other movies that
I think.
are great
2,
movies from the
3.
list, but are they action movies? Maybe not so much. So,
Okay, so I've got 10. So basically, but how this works is we'll just go, literally it's going to be quick, like 10 seconds or less, just pretty much just a vote and maybe a sentence or two why if you want to justify. So I've got 10 films up for contention here. So we'll start with the 2 indie films. So we'll start with Temple of Doom. We'll just go chronological. So Temple of Doom, Papa West.
Very, very high A.
Richie.
You know where I stand because I haven't seen them, so let's just move on.
Oh yeah.
All
I've
right.
seen them. Come on. No.
All right, Steven.
A.
Matt.
High A. High A.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say high A as well. The last 45 minutes of that movie is pretty great action.
Yeah. And I'll say S. Like I love Temple of Doom. So.
All right. It's an S and 4A, so it can at least go up and contention for maybe honorable mentions. We'll see.
Yeah.
And then we'll do the other indie movie that's still on the list. We'll go Last Crusade, Papa West.
Get Wrath of Khan out of S tier. S.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get there. We'll knock out when we need to knock out, and we'll shift things around. So, Richie hasn't seen it, so Steven.
Yeah.
S.
Yeah.
All right. Matt?
Yes. It's my number 5 favorite
S.
movie of all time.
Gotcha.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
I'll also go S.
And I'm gonna say A.
All right. So we got 4 S's and an A. So it's still up there in S
Maybe in the
contention.
S.
All
Yeah,
right.
I think it's gonna be at least above.
You
those
might
two.
as well knock down Star Trek and They Live out of there because they're probably not going to hang on for long at all. And we'll talk about honorable
we'll just
mentions,
knock
but
them on. Yeah.
All right, because I have a feeling 1 or 2 of these other ones might make S tier. Okay, so we'll go Beverly Hills Cop 2 because Beverly Hills Cop 1 only had 1 nomination. Beverly Hills Cop 2 had 2 nominations. So Beverly Hills Cop 2, directed by Tony Scott, Papa West.
All right.
I'd go A.
Richie.
I'd say S.
Steven.
A.
Matt.
A.
I also go A.
I think I will also go A, but Can I second the original Beverly Hills Cop because I would still give it an A at least. So I mean that could like maybe bump that up into the honorable mention stuff.
So you want to talk about the now?
Yeah, I think it's worth at least like trying to get it into A for honorable mention.
I mean,
No.
all right, sure, Papa. I guess
Yes.
first one.
I would go with a low A.
Richie,
Yeah, A.
Steven,
High A.
Matt.
A.
As an action movie, I go B.
And I would say high A. Yeah.
So it does get an A. It does get some.
Yeah.
5 A's and a B. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think it would be honorable mention territory just because it didn't even have any S votes. So some of these other ones actually have S votes. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
So next one, we will go with the first of 2 Kurt Russell movies that would be up for contention. We'll go Big Trouble in Little China. Papa.
S.
All right. Richie?
S.
Steven?
I'm gonna say haven't seen it only because it's been so long since I have seen it, and I don't really remember much of it.
All right. Matt?
S.
S.
Yeah. I'll say S, even though I do recognize that it is a B movie. I think Big Trouble is a B movie, but it's an S still.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. We have 5 S votes, so it's going to be at least in mid high A. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Mid to high, maybe about around Terminator.
Yeah, maybe around Terminator or Road Warrior. Yeah. All right. So next we will go with the other Eddie Murphy franchise, but just the first one. 48 Hours had 2 votes. So, Papa.
Have not seen it.
Richie?
A.
Steven?
S.
Matt?
B. The story is more memorable than the action.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't seen either one of them.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Not as egregious as Indiana Jones, Richie.
Yeah.
We'll start there.
It's still great. You know, it's still, it's still rating on a scale. It's still egregious on the list.
I mean, I'm not sure why another 48 Hours is on here because it's actually a 90s movie.
It's true.
Oh, is it? Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah. For some reason I thought there was 89, but I guess not. Yeah, I'll say A. I mean, I would have said A for another 48 hours also, but it's not even eligible apparently. And I was only going to say that if someone else brought it up. So.
All right.
So.
All right. So it's an S, 2 A's, and a B. So
okay. So it's a little
maybe low A. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
All right. All right. We're back to some Schwarzenegger for the next 2. We'll start with The Running Man. Papa West.
I'd go an A.
Let's find it here.
Richie.
A.
Oh, here it is.
Sorry, Austin. I know you love this movie, but C.
Wow. You heel.
God. Yeah. I know.
Heel, yeah.
Ooh.
You just took a heel turn.
Yeah.
Matt.
I haven't seen it.
Wow.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a heel turn there.
It's the best
No.
wrestling action movie ever. S.
Nice.
Because
Well,
the gladiators, they're wrestlers with entrances. It's awesome.
Now I gotta check.
Yeah. Yeah, like The Running Man would be cool. Like, I mean, maybe not as violent, don't fight to the death, but like do something similar. Like they had American Gladiators, but do it more. It's like American Gladiators on freaking steroids. So like if they had it for an actual show with not the like way less violence, it could that'd be cool. But I'm gonna say A, and that's being generous. I almost want to say B, but I'll say A.
All right. All right. An S, 3 A's, and a
So-
C. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Steven, the heel. Steven,
I
you're
don't
the
go, like,
you're the dynamo of this
at the
podcast.
bottom. We'll put it right there.
One
Yeah,
dynamo. Oh, Matt, it's great. You got to watch it. Like all the stalkers in this movie, they're stalking Schwartz. Like literally, bro, they're wrestlers. Like they come out with entrances, their own theme music, pyro. It's awesome on this TV show,
Yeah.
and they go stalk Arnold and his friends. It's awesome. You have to go see it. And Richard Dawson's amazing as a villain. He's great.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, you got to watch it. Anyways, we'll go with the other Schwarzenegger. We'll go Commando. Papa.
X.
We are going commando here.
And Commando. Yes. Get your pants off.
Yeah.
All right. All right, Richie.
I'll go B on Commando. It's not on a total.
All right, Steven.
I love the movie. It's not quite an S though, so I'll go A.
All right, Matt.
Yeah.
S.
I'll go S for Commando.
Yeah. I'm gonna say S because I forget the guy's name, but when he said he was gonna kill him last, he lied. So I'm gonna say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's commando.
Sully. I'm gonna kill you. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah, Sully. Yeah.
We have
What are the votes at?
four S's and A and a B. So I mean,
So it's probably
it
like
might skirt in there.
convention.
It's higher than those
Yeah.
ones in the top of A. So it might for now. We'll hash out the finer details. One of a couple of those make it bump. We'll see. Yeah, we'll have to be
Well, just
picky
for
with the
pure-
votes with the A with the S
For
tier.
pure Arnold Schwarzenegger one-liners, Commando like takes the cake for the amount of one-liners that are in there.
Well, with one man versus 100 people, it's amazing.
Yeah, and the kill
All
count.
right.
Like they have a YouTube channel with the kill count. That's fun to watch. But anyways,
Yeah. You can literally see the platforms that lift people up to shoot them in the air to do their flips after they get blown up with grenades. Like you can literally see the things in the ground that are popping them up in the movie. It's fantastic.
yeah.
All right. All right. We'll go over to Van Damme with a little blood sport. Papa.
Have not seen it.
All right, Richie.
A.
All right.
It's
All
not
right,
my
Steven.
It's not my favorite Van Damme. I'll be generous and give it a B.
Mm.
Jesus, Steven. You're such a heel.
Well,
Sorry, it's not 24.
yeah.
Matt.
It didn't hold up for me from when I was a kid, but I will give the fights an A.
S. I have Bloodsport t-shirts, 2 of them. S.
I'm pretty sure CM Punk is doing the what's his face's taunt whenever he enters into the ring or does a good promo.
Oh yeah.
He does that. I think
Chong
he's
Li,
taking it
Chong
as-
Li, Chong Li, Chong Li. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, might be taking a heel turn, guys, because I am not a Van Damme fan at all. I think he's a horrible actor in almost anything he's ever done. And I'm going to give Bloodsport a C. There's only one thing that I liked in this movie when he does the nut punch. I thought that was funny. Yeah. But yeah,
man.
sorry.
You assholes.
So,
Just leave it off. It's fine. Whatever. Just leave
all
it
right.
off.
I mean, yeah.
Dicks. Dicks.
Sorry.
It's the best martial. It's only the best martial arts movie of the '80s, but that's fine. You can leave it off of the action movie.
He's a
things.
great martial
It's
artist. He can't act to save his life. He can't. And we're talking movies here. So.
All right. We got 3 more. We'll go over to Mr. Jackie Chan with a little police story. Papa.
Have not seen it.
Oh.
Richie.
I'll go S.
Steven.
Haven't seen it.
Matt?
I just subscribed to the Criterion channel, and this is on my list to watch. I have not seen it.
I was going to see
I've
it.
Yeah, go ahead, Steven. You're fine.
I was just going to say, wait, this is Police Story. It's available on one of the streaming services. I don't remember which one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it, but Super Cop, Richie, the third one is better in the 90s. So for Police Story, I'll go A.
I like
All right.
Super Cop, but
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna say S tier. I forget his actual last name, Senior Inspector. I forget the guy, but I mean the movie is awesome. S tier, yeah.
All right, so we do have three actual votes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 3 votes, 2 S's and an A. So, you know,
I don't know if it's enough to put it in the S. We could put it in the A for
that's not enough for S because most of the S stuff we have has at least 4 S votes. So just overall, but you can put it in somewhere in A for contention. And we'll go 2 more. Yeah, that's fine. We'll go Kurt Russell again with Escape from New York, the John Carpenter film. So Papa. Richie?
S.
I'm kind of in the same boat with this one as I was with Big Trouble in Little China. It's been so long since I've seen it. I don't really remember it. So I guess I got to say I haven't seen it.
All right.
S.
Matt?
Yeah, he said it.
Austin?
A.
Yeah. I'll say A, but I'll say a high A though. Like I would hope it gets an honorable mention maybe, but A.
All right, so 3 S's and 2 A's. It's kind of around Star Trek or Empire territory, something like that.
Yeah.
All right, probably in the A tier again, just because the S tier ones have more collective S votes.
Yeah.
All right.
Is that it?
And then one last one.
Okay.
It ties into a movie that just came out, Top Gun. Top Gun had crossovers, so Papa West.
I'd go A.
All right, Richie.
I know who's going to drag this down, but I'll say A. I know in the panel who's going to say.
I don't know.
Steven?
B.
Matt?
S. Austin, what do you think?
I hate to be the heel on this one. I don't really like Top Gun. It's not horrible, but I'll give it a C. I don't like Top Gun.
C. Ooh, ouch.
I almost went C, but I decided to be generous and go B.
I was going to say S just to be strategic and drag it back up, but because I was going to give it an A, but I'll probably still stick with A. I'll say A.
So what?
An S, 3 A's, a B, and a C. Yeah.
So like middle of A. I don't know. But
it's like low A.
If you've not seen the new one, that one is S.
No, I'm looking forward to the new one because they say if you don't like the original, you like this one. That's why I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
The new one is amazing. Let me put it this way: the new one is what the first one wants to be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome. Oh,
I want to go see it again, which I probably will.
Okay.
But all right.
So all right, let's see what we got going on here. Well, all right. So
since you got all the votes.
Yes. So I will. The ones that have clean sweeps will definitely stay in there 100%. So Aliens, Predator. Lethal Weapon 2, Die Hard, Robocop, Raiders, and Big Trouble, and Terminator all have clean sweeps. So those are all guaranteed. Yeah, those are all clean sweeps. So those 7 will guaranteed spots in the S. So now we have to be nitpicky because even though some of these had 4, 2 of them are going to get the bump. So Road Warrior, I'm sorry, Road Warrior also had a sweep, but it was just only 4 votes, but it had a sweep, so it was all S. Just to clarify,
probably then. I mean, if it's
so
that.
we'll see. Last Crusade had 4 S's and an A. Batman had 4 S's and 2 A's. And then Commando had the 1 B, 4 S's, A, and a B. Commando's going to get the bump.
Yeah, it's probably
even with 4 A's. 4 S's, it's going to get the bump. And then it will be a contention probably between Mad Max, Batman, and Last Crusade for the other one to get the bump. So the first thing we might have to do is vote on which one gets the bump down to A out of those 3, and we may have to go around the horn and vote on that. So, all right. So this is going to be tough. So again, I try to come up with these and be as fair as possible.
Tough.
So what we're going to do is, all right, out of those 3, Road Warrior, Batman, and Last Crusade, I want everybody to vote on which one you think gets bumped out of S tier. Okay, out of S tier, just to be clear. And I'll write them down. So Papa West, out of those 3.
Mad Max 2.
Okay. Richie?
I'm here.
Okay.
I'll say Last Crusade because I'm it.
Okay. Steven?
I'll say Batman since it had the least best of action of the 3.
Matt?
Road Warrior because it's the one I've seen the least.
Despite it being my favorite, I'm going to say Last Crusade.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that I'm going to say it too, but I got to go Last Crusade.
You guys suck.
Ooh, Last Crusade gets the bump.
Yeah.
But it just gets the bump into the honorable mention territory. So it'll be a guaranteed honorable mention because it was an S tier as well as Commando. So what we'll have to vote on is which gets that 3rd honorable mention spot, and then they'll go through and rank the S tier.
Yeah.
So out of all those A's, this is going to be tough. So here, what I may have to do is narrow it down as far as the contenders to the ones that had the most S votes. What I may have to do is, unfortunately, those ones that only had like a stray S vote are not going to be in contention for honorable mention.
If you're able to,
so the ones that will be,
a lot there.
I'm going through it right now. So Empire will be one of them because it had 2 S's and 4 A's. Lethal Weapon will be another one. Yeah, move up the ones that are in contention. So Lethal Weapon. Star Trek will be one of them because it had 3 S's, so it's in contention as well as They Live. They Live will be in contention as well. And then, let's see, and probably Escape from New York as well will be in contention. So, okay. So, this might be difficult, but out of those 5, which it may just come down to which one gets like 2 votes, it just maybe is what it is. Out of those 5, we will vote on which one you think gets. Okay, it'll be the ones in order. So Empire, Lethal Weapon, Star Trek 2, They Live, and Escape from New York. It stops at Escape from New York. Yeah. So out of those 5, and the other 2 are guaranteed because they were in S tier. So they're just guaranteed to be the 2 of the honorable mentions. So out of those 5, you will vote for which one you think deserves that last spot. So hold on, let me do a little chart here. Empire, Lethal, LW for Lethal Weapon. ST for Star Trek, They Live, and Escape. All right. So we'll go around. Papa West, which one of the 5 would you put in the honorable mentions?
Escape from New York.
Okay. Richie, can you hear us?
Escape from New York.
Okay. Steven.
God, it's so tough between Lethal Weapon and Star Trek 2, but I'll go with Star Trek 2.
Star Trek, okay. Matt.
Lethal Weapon.
You know what? I'll change it to Lethal Weapon since I don't think anyone's voting for Star Trek.
Oh, he changes it real quick before it's over. All right.
That's fine.
I'll go Escape from New York.
Well, I just got to vote for it because the Justice for Return of the Jedi. I'll vote for Empire. So,
Oh, but with 3 votes, Escape from New York is going to pick
Yeah.
up that last slot. Although
Right.
Kurt Russell is going to make it into
that's
the
fine. Yeah.
honorable mentions.
about-
All
about
right,
that.
so we've got
I
our
was-
honorable mentions.
I was really hoping
All right.
for a tie so we could do 4 again.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
All
was
right.
hoping for,
So as far as our S tier,
I don't know how-
Mad Max
how we
2
wanna
and
do this.
Batman we'll stay in the 9 and 10 spots because those are the ones that had the 4 with like the the
We gotta
A's or
figure out
whatever.
the
So
rest.
so the rest, this might be tricky because yeah, they all had clean sweeps, so they're all very much beloved. We may just go around and see as first what everybody would vote as number 1, and maybe just see if something emerges. So I don't know. If not, we'll break it down a little bit further. So maybe we'll just take a quick poll. What's your number 1, Papa?
Yeah.
I'd go with Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Okay, Richie.
Die Hard.
All right, Steven.
This is really tough for 3 of them for me, but I'll go with Die Hard.
Okay, Matt.
It's the one I've loved the longest out of all these Raiders.
I'll go Aliens.
Yep. I figured. Yeah, I think I got to go with Raiders too. Yeah, it's just too iconic for me. So
Wow. So 3 votes for Raiders. Raiders might be
It's
number
Raiders.
1.
Yeah,
Wow, interesting.
number 1.
Interesting.
Got no
Interesting.
issue with that because Raiders was one of the 3 that I was talking about.
Nice.
Okay.
All right. The rest.
Die Hard might be in contention for number 2 just because it had a couple of shout outs. Unless anybody has super objections to that.
No?
No, I don't. I'm fine with it.
Okay. Put that up. All right. You know what? Let's I don't know where to go from here because they're all
Yeah. I don't
sweeps.
know. I don't know if we should keep breaking it down the way we are or not. I don't know. But
Let's do a Alien versus Predator since it's a 2 franchises. Aliens versus Predator, Papa. Just a quick poll.
I'd say Predator.
Okay. Richie,
Aliens.
Steven,
Aliens.
it's tough. Oh.
Matt.
Aliens.
I go Aliens also.
Yeah, I'd probably slightly give it to Aliens, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Maybe
Raiders
Aliens
would be
hangs around number 3, maybe?
yeah.
Maybe? Yeah, I mean, if
I'm fine.
everybody's
Could
okay
you
with
pick it
that.
as your number 1 too? So I mean, that's
Yeah.
that still counts.
Okay. Yeah, but like, where do we go from here? Holy shit.
Yeah. We got
We got
5
Lethal
more
Weapon.
left.
We got RoboCop. We got Big Trouble and Terminator are all good.
We could round out the top 5 and each go 2 this time if we want. I don't know. Is that?
Yeah, let's say which 2 would round out your top 5 out of Predator, Lethal Weapon 2, RoboCop, Big Trouble, and Terminator. We'll go we'll go that route. So you're voting for 2 this time, Papa West.
I would say Predator and then Big Trouble in Little China.
Okay. Big Trouble. And then, all right, Richie.
Lethal Weapon 2 and Robocop.
Okay. All right. And Steven, which 2 out of those would you round out the top 5 with?
I'm in agreement with Richie, except I would swap them.
Well, you're just saying Lethal Weapon and RoboCop?
RoboCop, then Lethal Weapon.
Okay, well, I mean, yeah, that's fine. We can vote on the finer details in a minute, but yeah. Okay, Matt, which 2 of those would you go with?
Lethal Weapon, then Robocop as well.
Okay. I would go Predator and RoboCop. All right.
Man, it's
Jordan?
tough because so I would definitely go Predator, so that's on there. But I don't know what my second vote is gonna be. Probably. Probably RoboCop. There's close between that and another one, but I'll go RoboCop.
Okay. RoboCop was the vast majority on that, so RoboCop might slide up into number 4.
Yeah.
Out of that. And then the next
about right.
two were both Lethal Weapon and Predator, so we might have to go around and vote on either or on those. But Terminator didn't get any nominations in that, so Terminator might stay where it is, as well as Big Trouble. So at this point, it might be voting on which one takes the number 5, Predator or Lethal Weapon, and we can go around the horn on that really quick. So Predator or Lethal Weapon 2, or excuse me, I should say Lethal Weapon 2, not Lethal Weapon. But Papa, Predator or Lethal Weapon for number 5? Lethal Weapon 2.
Predator.
All right, Richie.
Lethal Weapon 2.
Steven?
Lethal Weapon 2.
Matt?
Lethal Weapon 2.
And I go Predator.
And I also go Predator.
Oh, we have a tie.
Oh.
That's a favorite thing. So,
way up, right? So
do
I get the tie.
we go to?
Richie
Do we
gets
go
next.
who anybody? No, this isn't tournament fights. No.
Yeah,
Do we go to the chat if there's anybody in the chat that wants to shout out which one gets the number 5? I don't know if there's
so
anybody
Anybody
watching.
watching, Malcolm or anyone? Would you go for Lethal Weapon 2 or
Predator 2 or Predator? We got a couple people watching, so throw it in the chat real quick and let us know which one would be higher. So and we'll get some votes. But yeah, other than that, I think everything else might be kind of set where it is.
We got more votes
for now.
For well, actually, no. Jacob, let's get out of
think
there. You're out. We got one from the right, Jacob, Predator, and then one from Malcolm for Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, you don't count, Papa.
Yeah, no. Almost did for a minute. Don't you dare try to fool me on my own show.
And it might come down to a coin flip or something. Who knows? But you know,
Lethal Weapon.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Let me change Google accounts real quick.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
If anybody watching has a vote over Lethal Weapon 2 or Predator, if you're just tuning in. Yeah.
Well, it's
Good try.
Malcolm just said, "Good try, Papa." What do you vote? What would you vote for? We need your vote, Malcolm. Predator or Lethal Weapon 2? Type something. Because you have to be a
Oh, you voted
tiebreaker.
Lethal Weapon 2 already?
He did.
Oh, he voted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Barber said Predator first, and then Malcolm said Lethal Weapon 2.
Yeah,
And I'm
but
not
Jacob
saying
said
what Jacob Barber said afterwards.
it doesn't want Peter, so you switch Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. All right, so bump up Lethal Weapon 2, number 5. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. I don't have a problem with it. Predator's still in top 10.
Yeah.
That's fine. All right, there you go. And I think that will probably round it out. Yeah, so that's going to do it. All right. But a lot of good movies.
Yeah.
80s was a good decade for action. Good shit all around. Yeah.
80s was a stacked decade for a lot of stuff. Like,
Well, and 90s
stacked.
90s is going to be a stacked one too when we get to 90s, because 90s is even crazier. Like, yeah, I think, just when you look at the actual movies. But yeah, that's going to be another one too when we get there.
I should do this, but did we do 2000 yet? We didn't do it yet, did we?
We haven't done 2000 yet, which was a fairly weak decade for action.
it's a
I
weak
would
one. That's what I was
contend.
gonna say.
Because when I had to do a battleground matchup of best 80s action movies, my options were fairly limited. I feel like so we might have to be generous for that one. We'll see. But we'll see. But that might wrap it up. You want to break it down, and we'll wrap it up here. Yeah.
Yeah, you can break it down. And also, so all of you break it down, but then Malcolm, he just sent me what the top 10 was for rank them, and we can kind of compare the list.
We can compare notes. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
absolutely. All right, so our number 1 for this evening will be Steven Spielberg's Raiders of the Lost Ark, not Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. It is called Raiders of the Lost Ark. Number 2, we have John McClane and Die Hard. Number 3, we got James Cameron's Aliens. Number 4, Paul Verhoeven's Robocop. Number 5, we got Lethal Weapon 2. Number 6, Arnie and Predator. Number 7, we've got Kurt Russell and Big Trouble in Little China. Number 8, Arnie again with The Terminator. Number 9, George Miller's Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior. Number 10, we got Batman 89. And our honorable mentions for this evening, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Commando, and Escape from New York. All right.
Yeah. Nice.
Excellent job, everybody. Good job. All right.
Yeah.
And what was the final for Malcolm's last night? His top 10? Did he post it?
Yeah, so to compare, I have to kind of read it because he just put what he
Yeah.
wrote down, and so I have to read his handwriting here. He just took a picture of it, but he has let's see, oh, and he had, I don't know it. I want to say they had Die Hard #1. He has numbers next to him. They're not literally like in the actual order, just the numbers
Yeah.
by it. But yeah, Die Hard #1, Raiders of the Lost Ark #2. I think Aliens was 3. Then we had Predator at 4, Lethal Weapon 2 at 5. Where's number 6 here? I think 6 was the Terminator. And then 7 was Police Story. I made it into their top 12.
Okay.
And then they had the original Beverly Hills Cop 1. And then the number 9 was Escape from New York. I'm not seeing a number 10 unless I'm like crazy here. I don't
10
see
is
it.
Escape from New York.
Oh, the one was number 9.
Top Gun.
Okay, yeah. So number 9 was Top Gun. Sorry, I'm just having to decipher his handwriting. Yeah, but
Okay.
yeah.
So
And then-
a few different ones, but similar.
Yeah, but
Yeah, and then they had the top
they did
12.
12.
So the other two were.
They had
yeah.
Big Trouble in Little China and then RoboCop in there. So.
All right, so a lot of crossovers, a few little
Yeah,
minor
a lot.
differences with like Top Gun and Police Story and Beverly Hills Cop, but yeah, very
maybe-
similar. Yeah,
Yeah, for us, we had a couple Indiana Jones movies in there, and then we had Mad Max, the Road Warrior in there.
And Batman.
A little different Batman. So yeah.
Mhm.
Malcolm is
Yeah.
asking when are we doing a 90s action so that he can try and rank them around that again.
Oh, nice.
Oh
nice.
yeah,
Well,
we could do that. Have another crossover.
when we do all of our plugs, I'll bring up the schedule and I'll see if
Con Air, baby, more Con Air.
Yeah.
Yes.
Con Air is
Yeah.
so much fun.
And
Yeah.
Terminator 2, baby, come on.
Yeah, Terminator 2, I'm sure is a contender. Speed, there's some good shit. Yeah, Hard Boiled. If anybody hasn't seen Hard Boiled, watch it before that show. It's awesome. Watch Hard Boiled, best shootouts ever.
Is that Chow Yun Fat? Is that what it is?
Yep, it's
Yeah,
John
there's
Woo and Chow Yun Fat. Yeah,
Yeah, there's a John Woo movie that I was surprised didn't come up here that I was going to watch for it, and that's
The Killer?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, but I think it's only because I think Hard Boiled takes what The Killer started and makes it even better. So I would argue that Hard Boiled is awesome. It's a little hard to find, but if you can find it, please watch it because it's great.
I'm also surprised I'm the only one that brought up First Blood in the Hail Mary round.
Yeah,
Well,
that was a little surprising.
First Blood is the only one in that series that is not an action film, though.
It's the only one I thought that was good.
That's right. It's a good movie, but it's not an action movie. It's a great movie. But like, think about it. There's only one death in the film, and it's by accident.
So while Hard Boiled, by the way, is hard to find, it is on YouTube with English subtitles. So if you want to watch it, I see somebody uploaded it. So it's been up there for 7 or 8 years, so it hasn't been taken down yet. So watch it if you haven't.
Nice.
It's great.
Yeah.
One of the best long take, a 4-minute shootout, and they change floors and continue the shot and change the set out while they're in the elevator and continue the shootout in one take. It's amazing. If you haven't seen it, incredible shit. So if you haven't seen it, because I will bring it up for S tier, just preview. But yeah,
cool. We'll have to check it out. Yeah, but thanks to guys for being on the show. That was fun. So we'll continue this next month. I think next month is actually when we're doing 90s action next. It's going to be Tuesday, June 21st. So Malcolm, if you're listening, you can plan something around that if you want to. So, but we'll just go around the horn. If you have any plugs, and you can tell us where we can find you. We'll start with Papa West. Where can we find you?
You can find me all over the place. Facebook at Jacob E. West. That is very important because there are several Jacob West out there. Only one that I know of who will put the E on Facebook. You can also find me at TMG Trivia. I run singles and teams. I'm in the middle of a tournament that I haven't touched in a couple months, so hopefully I'll be getting some matches out here pretty soon. And then I do have a teams match in the works that should be coming out pretty soon as well. And then also over at TMG Entertainment, I do every other week, once a month, sports show called TMG Takes the Field. And then I also help out with Movie Battleground, which is our movie debate league. I judge, I host. Sometimes I compete, and when I compete, I kick the crap out of whoever I'm competing. So somebody here in this room, that is a fair warning. Don't show up.
We'll see when we tape something this week. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
No spoilers.
well, Jacob
Don't show
Ezekiel West, right? The E for Ezekiel, right?
Does not mean Ezekiel.
Yeah, no, yeah, but Richie, where can we find you?
Yeah, unmute yourself
I did-
and then
I
don't pull a
did-
Steven. Don't pull a Steven.
Yeah.
Man, you can find me. On you can follow us here tomorrow. Tournament 5-6 tomorrow. The disaster plus versus nature movies or whatever.
Yeah.
That should be fun.
Nature survival versus. We turned it into a versus actually of an episode of versus that we're doing. So it's going to be
Yeah.
disaster versus like nature survival. So
Yeah.
Okay.
so it'll be interesting. Yeah.
But that'd be 32 of each. So yeah.
That should be fun. I do wrestling trivia and movie trivia on Jordan Owen's channel. Just did wrestling trivia just before we came on here. And then so check me out there. On Friday my time and Thursday I do on this channel do the Lonely Marks podcast where we will be recapping Double or Nothing. That was yesterday.
I have some thoughts about Double or Nothing, so tune in.
Oh,
Boy, do I have
God.
thoughts about that show.
There's
Yeah.
going to be some hot takes here.
The one I'm looking for that's coming up is the Hell in a Cell. That's coming up too. So.
We're not reviewing that shit.
You're
I
not.
don't know. I'm not sure if
It's
we'll
good,
do
clean
that.
fun. Come on.
Only
I don't know if
one
we'll do that,
match.
but I'm in the tournament that Papa mentioned. I think I'm versing like Ryan Permerson. So whenever that happens, look out for that. I'm around.
Yeah. Sounds good. Steven, where can we find you?
Let's see. What do I have coming up this week? I don't know if it's set in stone, but I believe I have a match with two gentlemen over here on movie release dates over at Jordan Owen's channel.
Oh yeah, you do.
Yeah, we are. I think we can finally put that for Friday night since there's no tier rank or tournament fights. We can do that on Friday. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I'll also be on Rankum on Saturday doing top 12 Ray Liotta movies. And you can find me
Rest in
at
peace, Ray Liotta.
I know. Really sad news. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can find me on Letterboxd at SShepherd82.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah.
Hey, y'all better get observe and report on that list. I love that movie.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you brought up Ray Liotta because I meant to bring that up at the top of the show, but yeah. Matt, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at soda_the_saxman. Coming up Wednesday, another episode of The Squared Slice, my wrestling show on the Northern Entertainment Group. Thursday, we'll be Rewind the Tape. We're going to be doing Back to the Future Part 3. Saturday on Northern Countdown, I don't remember what the hell the topic is. And then also Saturday on the Let's Get Ready Network on the Dropkicks, the wrestling show over there. And also this Thursday on the Let's Get Ready Network, I will be competing in the third Wrestle Trivia Brawl, I think it's what it's called, looking to regain my title as champ. So go and check that out.
Nice. Yeah, very cool. Have you guys ever looked into the Northern Entertainment Network? Like they got some cool stuff on there. They have stuff covering all kinds of different stuff. So go check that out. So yeah, it's definitely worth it. But Austin, where can we find you?
Yeah, now that I know you're that much of a wrestling fan, Matt, you have to watch The Running Man because it's got a lot of wrestling elements to it that you would kind of dig. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, and with features a lot of Reddit. Jesse Ventura's in that movie. Professor Toru Tanaka's in that movie. Other wrestlers. So anyways, Me and Henry, Confidential and Let's Rank Stuff this week, we'll be doing another action franchise. We'll be ranking the Mission Impossible movies to tie in with Tom Cruise's Top Gun Maverick. So, some movies we brought up in our 2010s that made those.
Nice.
We'll be talking about those.
Yeah.
And, I'll be on the Lonely Marks on Thursday. We'll be talking about AEW's Double or Nothing pay-per-view. We'll be doing a trivia match on Friday on Jordan Owen's channel for movie release dates. And a podcast about movies will return this upcoming weekend, hopefully, with me and Jacob Barber. He was a little under the weather this past weekend, so we kind of pushed the show back a little bit. But we'll try to bring you that show this weekend.
Yeah. And you can find all things about the Movie Hero Network at Movie Hero 2121 on all the socials as always, and you can find us on Facebook at the Shoutout Friends and Family group. You can find our poll that's going to have our top 10 and our 3 honorable mentions over there. Hopefully, something in the next day or two. And let's see, a couple of things that I have coming up too that I'm going to be doing. So I started doing some shorter content on the channel. Got a little thing going called Snack Hero. So I posted one snack review. So I just review just like any kind of like new or crazy or wacky kind of off the wall like flavors and snacks of different things. I've been doing some energy drink reviews, some different flavors of Mountain Dew. There's like different like chip flavored. So I have one up but I filmed about 6 of them though. So that's a little behind the scenes, but I want to do a little bit of editing, and I've been out of town, so those will all be posted soon. So this week I might maybe drop like one a day, so you can watch for those. So because I know most of our content's like hours and hours long, I want to have some short stuff, so it's a little easier to digest. And then I'm also another thing that I've coming up. I'm going to be getting into some gaming on the channel too, because I'm a big gamer, but I just haven't really had any time to do it. So I figured if I can do it for the channel, it makes it a little more worth it. So I have some stuff coming in the mail as soon as that comes. That one won't be coming for about a month, but I just want to just say that's in the works. I mostly do PlayStation and probably Nintendo Switch, those two. So we're doing some of that stuff. So you can watch for that. And then just a few episodes that we have coming up on the channel. Let's see. We have, so we already mentioned the tournament fights versus the disaster movies versus nature survival movies. That'll be tomorrow night at the same time at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. So we have that. Then we have best summer camp movies / movies set primarily in the summertime. So we have that one. We have best road trip / vacation movies. And then I'll be starting my top 128. So we're going to have a part 1 of my personal top 28, which is vastly different now than what my top 64 was because I kind of put that list together fairly quick. And so I really took some time to kind of debate and deliberate over these movies. So it's a lot different lists. But we also have our When Animals Attack.
Yay! I'm gonna host that episode. Episode. Jordan's gonna run the board. I'm hosting Animals Attack movie because that was my idea. It's the one I'm passionate about. So we're gonna flip flop it. Jordan's gonna be my co-host that night, and we're doing a tournament fight When Animals Attack movies. Yes, I'm so excited.
Yeah, we have it scheduled to come out right after the new Jurassic Park to kind of coincide with that coming up. Mm-hmm. So we got that. Then we have another fun one coming up. When we do our best 70s action movie, we're going to have a bunch of Schmodown people on the show. So we're going to have Mark Edward Hoyk, John Kaiser, Vinny Mancuso, and Adam Witt on there. So that'll be
that's going to be 8 hours.
Yeah,
I know. Vinny and Kaiser and all those guys are going to be. Adam Witt. Right. Yeah. Even though it's a tier ranker, which we usually have more of a harder, out time, it's going to be like a 4-hour tier ranker episode. We'll get the Hail Mary still 3.5 hours in.
Yep. So
totally.
We'll see. So that episode's strap in. Yeah. but
we'll be at the 2-hour mark and we'll have 4 movies on the chart, and then we'll have to keep going.
Yeah, but then we have the best 90s episode on June 21st that I already mentioned. So that's just some stuff to look
it'll be
forward to, so.
you could say that week will be an action-packed week, won't it, Jordan?
Yeah, action packed. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, so it'll be fun. So yeah, that's pretty much where you can find us and things to look forward to for everybody. So yeah, but thank you again to all my guests for being on the show, and yeah, we'll look forward to probably it'll be about 3 months away when we finally get to our championship, but we'll eventually get there, and so it'll be fun to kind of see the showdown of all these action movies going in head to head. So but yeah, that'll do it for us tonight. So for Papa, for Richie, for Steven, for Matt, for Austin, I've been Jordan Movie Hero Anderson, and we'll see you next time.